Everybody, welcome to Okayama International Circuit in, well, I was going to say lovely Okayama Prefecture, but as you can see, the weather here today, rain for Formula Drift Japan, round 5, the last round of the year. And rain. Hello, this is Alexi Smith, your usual commentator for Formula Drift Japan. I'm here this weekend with you for the round 5 final round. I'm here today with, this is not Ryan Sage, this is the other Ryan Lantane.
Yeah, so we replaced one Ryan with another. I think that you guys are losing out without Sage here, my personal opinion, but I'll be doing double duty this weekend. They were practicing yesterday for 6 hours in the dry, and they get here today and they only have an hour and 5 minutes. No, it was an hour and 5 minutes, I think, in the wet.
And even then, it was a practice session that was marred by a couple of crashes, one very heavy crash.
Yeah, it was that Iha that hit the wall.
Tetsuya Iha in his crown hit the wall very hard. Luckily, he's okay. He went off in an ambulance just as a precaution, but he was okay. A lot of collisions with the wall. Right there on the left of the screen there, that hairpin at the bottom of the course. Very dangerous part. Right now, there's a big red scrape you can see on there.
Yeah, a little bit of paint on there.
Quite a lot of scratches and things like that. So you can see here the course here. If you've never heard of it before, Okayama International Circuit used to have a different name. I forget what it was. It was used as a Formula 1 circuit for 2 rounds. I'd have to check. It was in maybe 2003 or 4 or something like that. I believe Michael Schumacher holds the lap record of this track. Fortunately, due to changing conditions with economy and so forth, no longer used as a Formula 1 track. And this track really is, it really is in the middle of nowhere. Even as by Japanese standards, it's in the middle of nowhere. Very hard to get to this track. It's not easy. It's a long drive through the mountains, through rice fields and little valleys and little towns and valleys and things like that. And we have this wonderful facility using today for drifting.
The roads in here are fun, though. They're very narrow, one car width for 2 directions on the edge of a mountain. So at night makes for pretty challenging driving. Entertaining, though. I like it.
Yeah, it is some very initial D sort of roads around here. And after the typhoon we had last weekend, did you come in via that road that was half washed away and they were repairing it?
I didn't notice. We came in late at night. So
I see.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
There was, on the way in, there's some a crew of guys repairing the road, which has been half washed away by the storm last week.
So the storm hit a little harder down here. From what I understand, up in Tokyo, it wasn't as bad, right?
It wasn't as bad up in Tokyo. Yeah, storms, the typhoons in Japan, usually they come in from the south. They usually hit the southern part of Japan, like Kyushu, the worst. And they slowly get less and less strong as they move up. So Tokyo usually doesn't really get it that bad. It's down in Okayama where we are. We're sort of halfway between Hiroshima and Osaka. It's roughly where we are. In the Chubu, I think this is the Chubu region of Japan, sort of the middle country region. So as you can see, we had practice early this morning. It's the first time a lot of these guys have driven this track in the wet. And what they're doing right there is the burnout box to warm up with is just past that corner there. So this is the front straight. They're aiming backwards up the front straight. They get the driver up there, do little burnouts in the burnout box, warm up their front and rear tires as best they can in these conditions, turn around and head down to qualifying. And that's what you're about to see. Qualifying will start very shortly. Now the weather for this weekend, rain, 100%, between 90 and 100% rain predicted during today. And it's,
but oddly enough, it's not raining right now.
Luckily right now it's laid off a bit, so hopefully it'll stay this way for qualifying. It's definitely going to start raining again later today. That's 100% sure of that. 100p rain, unfortunately.
Yes.
And the worst thing about that on this track is finally we have a high-speed track to use, but it's going to have lower speeds. But I mean, look, they're coming into that first corner. They have a long run-up, and they're really coming in there very fast. Quite a few people getting stuck this morning. Yeah, our current championship ranking is Andrew Gray, who's previous year's champion as well. So he's well on the way to getting 2 in a row, actually 3 in a row. Team KOZAMA Power Vehicles entry. Power Vehicles, as it's written in the guide here. Currently in second place, Shinji Minoa. So Andy's with 251 points. Second, Shinji Minoa. He's the one driving the white and red Z34 Fair Lady, sponsored by Potenza and built by Team Boss. So Andy 251, Minoa 244, so very close together. In third place we have Koichi Yamashita. He's the guy who drives the work/weld racing JZX 100 Mark II, the big blue sedan with a huge wing on the back. Currently in 227 points. And fourth place is Mad Mike. He's out here this weekend, so he is here. Still within shouting distance of first place. And Mike's practice this morning looked very confident. Especially in the final corner down towards the hairpin, throwing it in there with a lot of guts. So there you go. You can see this is the reverse shot. Right there at the bottom of the screen there is the finish line. And on the opposite side of the road there is the grandstand, and you can see that big white tent. That's where we are, over with the judges and our Japanese commentators. So we have this here this weekend. We have Arido and Taniguchi doing commentary. So there is supposed to be a lot of other stuff going on here today. We have a sort of a car show, displays. We have a, did you see they have the low riding, the hopper car over there, the red, what is it? It's Reds, like Reds Hydraulics car out there. It's supposed to be doing a display. Of course, we have the usual guys doing their extreme stunt show. Yeah. The extreme bike guys. Also our the flat track rider we have here.
Did you see him bail this morning in the rain?
He bailed, really?
Ooh, he did.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he has metal sliders on his boots.
Yeah, he does.
That allows him to not wear them, but slide his feet to kind of support himself as he's essentially drifting his motorcycle. Yeah. And he threw it into the corner that had a large puddle.
And he had to bail off.
He went down hard, yeah.
All right, here we go. First run now. This is our first.
Warm-up.
This is a warm-up run. We're just checking that.
No, this is a judge run.
Okay, this is a judge run. We have our first driver now from Korea. Lee Jun-hyuk driving, of course, being Korean, the Genesis Coupe, Big Brother Racing. So as you can see, very treacherous conditions out there right now. This is a downhill, this part of the course. But he's actually doing a really good job of keeping it sideways the entire track.
Yeah, it's a full pull from him.
Much better result than his runs in qualifying compared to them. There you go. Okay, so that's one run down for Lee Jun-hyuk. He was over here for the FIA drifting event a few weeks ago, entering in that along with some of the other Korean drivers.
So was his car wrapped differently for that event?
I believe it was slightly different.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't recognize that.
I don't think he actually made it through as well. So it was slightly different design, I believe. But he's out here this weekend in Formula Drift Japan. Now, speaking of other competitions, we have quite a few drivers here who don't normally enter Formula Drift Japan. A couple of reasons for that. First of all, like Lee Jun-hyuk here, we had the FIA Drift event here a couple of weeks ago. So we have a bunch of international drivers who are over for that. He's left his car here. Of course, Korea, only about an hour's flight from Japan, hour and a half flight from Japan. Very easy to get back and forth, to commute back and forth. Other driver, and of course the other Japanese series, D1 Grand Prix, has finished for the year. So we have a few D1 drivers here this weekend that we don't normally see. Naoto SUENAGA and KUMAKUBO. So we have both Team Orange drivers. One other driver I'm looking forward to seeing is Katsuhiro Ueno, who's out here this weekend in his VR38 powered S15 Silvia. If you don't know what that is, if you know the latest Nissan GTR, it's the engine out of one of those. He's crammed that into an S15 Silvia. So big power, big engine. He's only had that engine in there for one event at the last D1 Grand Prix. He did fairly well with it, but I believe he wants to get out and do a bit more practice and set up in that car. Of course, he is from Kyushu in southern Japan, so this is not as far for him to drive as it normally is to get to events. So 57 there, first run, Lee Jun-hyuk. Now whether the average score today is going to be much higher than that, I don't know.
One thing, we do have a lot of drivers. Now, I know originally we had 55 drivers signed up. I'm not sure how many are actually here competing today. I didn't get to count on the list, but it is a pretty good amount.
We have a few scratchings as well.
Yeah, a few of them there. But a lot of drivers. So
we have a lot. So we're going to definitely have a full field. So Byron has not come over. So next driver now, Kei TAKANOHASHI, JZX 100 Chaser. He's going to have to straighten up from that, and a big understeer off the track. That's going to be a 0 for Kei TAKANOHASHI, unfortunately for him. So a complete four-wheel course out. He's going to use the rest of his run. This is a bit of practice. Yeah, you can see the conditions here. Not easy. Your car needs to be set up absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, you'd think this track, like you said, it's a higher speed track. You'd think it'd be a little bit, and it is a pretty wide, smooth track. It's brand new, freshly paved from what I understand. They put some new drainage on some of the some of the rumble strip areas on the track.
That's right.
But it's proven to be pretty difficult to drive in the wet. Maybe that's due to the new asphalt. I'm not sure, but very challenging for some drivers today. We've seen some drivers that we would expect to do well in the rain that had some issues. And I don't know if it's the surface or if it's just the speed that's achievable on this track that makes it difficult to get around there without making errors. I even saw Indy Gray make an error earlier, which is kind of uncharacteristic for him in the in the wet practice.
So there's 0 there for Kei TAKANOHASHI. Just make it official. Of course, that four-wheel off track. Going to be a 0 in anyone's books.
Where's Edmund Chan from?
Edmund Chan is, and a big stink bug has just landed on me. Hello, you can go away. There you go. Bye bye. Edmund Chan is from Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
He's over here.
So Team TRC, that is also James Tang on the same team, correct?
That's right. Edmund is over here with James Tang this weekend. And the car he's driving, some people may recognize it as the former D1 Grand Prix car of Tsuyoshi Tezuka.
So a pretty serious car.
A fairly serious build. Nothing really that needs to be done to this car to enter it in Formula Drift Japan. Just a few small and off the track there for Edmund Chan. Hopefully he's not buried in here. He should be able to get off. So this car, formerly driven by Tezuka Tsuyoshi in the B Racing yellow. Yeah, that part of the track, very difficult to get grip for the guys with the higher horsepower.
So when they repaved this track, it looks like they didn't pave that little horseshoe in there that we're using, and there's a bit of a dip.
There is a bit of a dip. That little dip, you can actually see it on the track there, right? There's a very small amount of standing water where that little bump is, because that bump has always been there, and it has occasionally caused a bit of havoc with some drivers who aren't prepared for it, or their damper setup doesn't absorb it as much. You can see they're just spinning out. He knew he'd lost it, so he just stamped on the brakes to bring the car around and stop it as quickly as possible. And a 0 for Edmund Chan. It would be a big shame if he got 2 zeros in a row. This is going to happen. Today is not going to be friendly to these drivers.
Iwasaki, one of 3 women driving this weekend.
That's right. We have 3 all of a sudden.
Yes. So there's this young lady here, Iwasaki.
Yep.
There is Minoa, Shinji Minoa's wife.
There's Shinji Minoa's wife who's out there. Shinji's out there, and his wife is also out there.
Her name is Masayo?
Masayo.
And there's a 3rd woman who's driving the S14 Goodyear Sunoco car, is that correct?
That's right. We'll be seeing that later on today. So our first female driver out here this weekend, SAORI Iwasaki, S13 Sylvia. And funnily enough, just keep it going. There you go. So you can see the outer zone pylons there. Good first part of the course. And a straighten there. And a spin. So just a bit thrown there by, I don't know if it gripped up. It may have been a missed upshift from 2nd to 3rd gear. Because as they come into the first corner, it's a shift down, power out, and shift up through the chicane. Okay, so let's watch the course here. His first part, not too bad. So you can see that the 3, 2, 1 pylons, just those cones right there on the back of the screen there. You can see that's the initiation point and the beginning of outer zone 1. Outer zone ends there. The switch back just here in clip, and yeah, she straightens up there on the transition.
Right, and that would have been outside zone 2. That's outside zone 3, right where she spun.
Right.
And then as you keep going towards the right, and then back to the left, there's inside clip 2 in the finish line. So 5 scored areas. Line and angle, the first zone, are worth 5 points each.
Right.
You go to inside clip 1, they're both worth, line and angle are both worth 5 points each. Sorry, the outside zone one's worth 10 points each. Inside clip 1's worth 5 points for line and angle. Outside zone 2 is 10 points for line and angle each. Outside zone 3, 5 points each.
Right.
Inside clip 1, 5 points each for a total of 35 each.
So it has been slightly changed to how it normally is done here. Due to the fact that it's wet, the course has been weighted to the less dangerous and more drift effective parts. And a huge throw in there for KOZAMA.
He should get points for that 360.
If this was maybe the Dubai drifting championship or something.
If he kept it on the track, I would have given it.
Yeah.
But he went off a little bit.
So if you're just joining us now, welcome to Formula Drift Japan Round 5 here at Okayama International Circuit. We are currently at the very, very beginning of qualifying. So if you're thinking right now, wow, they're not drifting very well at all, you've got to remember this is the unranked part of the qualifying. We're starting from the unranked drivers all the way at the bottom of the field, all the way through to the top in the points rankings. So, and a spin there for KOZAMA. Of course, if usually when we, the sheets that we use in front of us with all the names on them, it's usually an A4 piece of paper. Today, it's actually an A2 piece of paper folded in half.
Yeah.
We have a lot of entries here today, like a lot of entries. So we're going to get a lot of people get knocked out. So we are not going to see, hopefully we're not going to see by run out there today.
With this amount of drivers, I hope that we don't. But there's always a chance.
There's always a chance, yeah.
That people are qualified, they're all set, and then the practice before the event, they crash or break their car, and then unfortunately, old by run rears his head again. So up on the line we have Murakami.
That's right.
This is 15.
Next driver now, MITSURO Murakami. All right, here we go. He's got those big 326 power wheels on that car. All right, this is looking not too bad. This is a clever run. Look at this. Wow, great line there on the out there. Watch the flick back here. Oh, Murakami. Okay, this is a very wide there. All the way down to the wall, just skims the wall. This is
impressive.
That is not bad. It looked like at the beginning of the run that he was just going for a safe run.
Because he got into outside zone 1 a little bit early, and I was worried he wouldn't be able to maintain it all the way through, but he actually did a fairly nice job there.
All right, let's watch the replay here. So this is Murakami's run once again. His entry not too bad. Yeah, started very early. It looked like he may have slowed, he was going to slow down too much into the outer zone, but ended up doing a really good job of it. So a little bit wobbly there on the entry, but that really can't be helped in the wet. He's doing a really good job of it. So right there, beginning of outer zone, all the way to the end of outer zone. Only comes off it a little bit. Now watch this little bit of a wobble there, right there. I mean, he didn't really flick it as hard as maybe he could. Watch this right here. Oh, he pulled out of it slightly. You can see he was at big angle as he flew in towards that wall there on that hairpin, and just barely skimming the wall. He wound off a little bit of angle just to bring the rear of the car away from the wall a little bit, which is understandable. You'd rather lose a bit of angle rather than hit the wall.
Yeah, I think that would be erring on the side of caution, especially today.
Especially today, in your first run with a field this full,
yes,
you really want to get 2 scored runs.
Right, and we've seen quite a few zeros so far, so you can kind of hedge your bets and say, well, if I get a lower score on the board, at least I get a score, and as you can see here, a 69.
And a very nice looking score there, 69 for Murakami. That's our highest score so far.
It is. So this is our other female driver in that S14.
Yep, here she is, Michie MIMOTO. Michie previously entering the D1 Street Legal Venus Challenge, which is the ladies only competition. Quite a good driver. She's picked up a lot more sponsorship for this year.
Yeah, the car looks good.
Yeah. So once again, nice, conservative, just a little bit over the ripple strip there. Not too bad so far. Flick back. This is good. Big angle.
Looking good.
Very, very good run there for Mimoto. And in clip there, not bad. And up over the finish line. Wow, that's the best run we've seen all day so far, including practice.
So just to give you a bit of an idea, what we were asking for in the drivers' meeting was for the drivers to get as close to that rumble strip as possible. And typically we want them to ride up on the rumble strip as we count it as part of the course. But due to the new paving here at Okayama circuit and the new drainage that they put on the outside of that, they asked us to request that the drivers not drive on the rumble strips as much to try to keep them on the track. So in that case, the rumble strip would be considered a little bit off course. It's not as much as going in the dirt or going off the track entirely, but due to that request from the actual track here, that would not be a 10. I gave her a 9 for that because she was just off a little bit.
Right.
You know, typically if that was in dirt, that would have been maybe a 7, you know, considering if that was off the track for that sector, just to give you an idea of what we're looking for that section. But she did a great job. That, like you said, best run we've seen yet, including practice.
Yeah.
It was an hour and 5 minutes earlier on, so very impressive.
So great first run there for our second female driver out there today, Michie Mimoto, in the Kamui Produce S14 Sylvia. So once again, if you're just joining us now on the live stream, welcome to Okayama International Circuit. We have 2 days of drifting for the final round of Formula Drift Japan. Because today, practice and qualifying, and tomorrow, main competition. And you have there a score, 76 for Michie Mimoto. Great first run for her. And from one Goodyear Sunoco car to another, we have Kitashiba. Here in his Lexus IS, it's a 2JZ powered Lexus.
We don't get Goodyear cars in North America. Goodyear doesn't sponsor drifting, but I do like their liveries.
They do have a very good livery, and you know, it's their race car livery coming over to the drifting cars. Ooh. Looks great. That's way too much angle. I don't think he can hold this, and straightens up. And the other way around.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It really would make sense just to go for a conservative first run. But as you can see, the track is going to start drying up if it doesn't start raining again soon. Not that I want it to. Not that I'm asking. I don't mind it this way. That's going to be a 0 for Kitashiba on his first run. Run now. Yeah, Goodyear does really seem to have a very consistent and coherent scheme for their cars.
They do, and there's something about that shade of blue and yellow together with the Goodyear logo. It just looks good.
Yeah.
It makes me say and wish that we had some Goodyear sponsored drivers in North America. It's too bad that Goodyear is not interested in drifting.
That's a shame.
In our part of the world. There's the official 0, sadly.
0, 0, 0 equals 0 for Kitashiba on his first run. Okay, now this guy here, TERAMCHI. He was doing pretty good in qualifying.
Practice?
Sorry, in practice. Now, TERAMCHI, you can sort of, I mean, I don't want to sort of stereotype, but by the way he looks, he's a bit of a madman.
All right.
And it carries over to his driving. He's a very sort of all or nothing guy.
It's an aggressive looking car.
And I do know that he has a very unique suspension setup on this car this week, and he's gone for the, and it seems to be working.
It's very nice.
Watch the flicks back here, and right here, watch this.
Yeah.
Much bigger angle than any other car we've seen so far.
His line wasn't great, but his angle was definitely pretty strong through there.
You know why? He's got a flat track style setup on this car. He has an uneven suspension. He has an uneven suspension setup and alignment.
Really?
Yeah. So he's specifically built set up the car to do right-handers.
Oh.
Actually, you can see it. You can see it here. Look at his right. Look at the wheel on the right screen and the left screen. The camber is different, and the toe is slightly different. It's set up to do these corners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his line, he's right at the beginning. He's right on the outside edge of that line, which is perfect. He came off a little bit. He's way off on that outside zone, unfortunately. Coming out to the wall here, could have been a little bit closer. We've already seen one or two drivers get closer than that, but overall, not terrible.
There you go. Good, nice run there for TERAMCHI on his first run, the S15 Silvia, powered by a 2JZ engine. So line, not that clean, but very aggressive run considering the conditions, a lot of angle. So hopefully in his second run he'll be able to pull off something a bit better than that. As you can see, conditions here. So right up just behind where we are, there's a big display area with all sorts of stuff going on. There's food there as well. Might go there and get some takoyaki later on. So score there, 75 for KUNIHIKO TERAMCHI. Good first run. That's our highest score so far.
Second highest, isn't it?
No,
MIMOTO got 76.
sorry, yes, you're right. Second highest. My pen was covering the score when I was looking at it. Second highest score. So we're looking at 76, 75 so far. That's about the highest we're seeing. All right, next driver now, MANABU FUJINAKA. The original 3-rotor drifter in Japan.
So this is the car that Mad Mike drove
at Suzuka,
right? Because his car broke?
That is correct. But FUJINAKA out here this weekend.
That looks fast. Oh, there's some smoke.
In his own car this weekend. FUJINAKA also a very old school driver. He's been in D1 Grand Prix for a long time. Because unique sound in this car, the 20B. Whoa, right there, collision with the wall there, knocking off his end plate.
Knocking off the outside zone marker as well.
Yeah, see it there dangling.
So he did get into that zone late, though. He missed the first half of it, I guess you could say. Got into it pretty deep in the middle, and then at the end is where he did his little tap.
It looked like it was going to be okay for a second there.
It did,
All right, so up through the gears. Yeah, this is smoke there too. Yeah, you pointed that out before. You're right. So right on the initiation point, right about 3/4 of the way between the second and third entry zone markers, it's starting to dry up. Now watch this. Here we go. So on the accelerator, handbrake, and right at the end there. If he'd been able to sort of move it forward a little bit under power, he would have just missed that. But still continuing his run. See the end plate just dangling. Is there a regulation which requires the end plates to be wired to the actual wing itself?
Yes, they are to be tethered.
There you go.
Yes.
So that's why you see that a lot these days. The end plates, when they do collide with the wall, end up flapping around like that.
Yeah.
They're all connected by a small piece of wire.
Yeah, safety-wise, it really helps keep everything safe on the track. You're not going to have end plates flying into the crowd. I know here, specifically in that area, there is no crowd, but the point is on certain tracks where there may be a crowd just on the outside of the wall, it can really help.
There you go. So score there, good. Equal highest score so far, 76 for FUJINAKA in the 20B rotary RX-7.
Everybody's distracted by the Ferrari doing some power circles up there. You can hear it revving in the distance.
Yeah, we have a drift Ferrari. We have 3 drift Ferraris here this weekend. Okay, here we go. Now I know a lot of people want to see this guy, Katsuhiro Ueo. He's out here in his trophy truck S15 this weekend. He's running 20-inch wheels on this car with a GTR engine and off. Now, that I'm sure caught him by surprise. It's dry on the entry now.
It is.
All of a sudden it's dried up. I really hope the spotters are letting their drivers know that the entry point is actually drying up. This is going to make things very interesting.
Definitely challenging. You know, it's one thing to have a wet track where it's consistently wet all the way through. You know that you're going to have the same grip level from beginning to end, but when you have the beginning dry, you have to throw it in pretty aggressively. Unfortunately, just after that, though, the grip isn't there to hold the car through the corner.
Watch this. Here we go.
Yeah.
So the front end wobbling around there. Looks like the rear end gripped up. It was Ueo running huge tires for an S15. It's a very over-tired car, as you can see, and as a result, he's had to raise it up.
Does look interesting.
What was funny was at D1 Grand Prix, there was a battle where it was him versus on a blank. S15 Silvia Blue. Yokoi. He was up against Yokoi, and the difference in like the cars side by side was hilarious. It was like it didn't look like the same car
Right,
at all.
it's the same chassis, but side by side, one's probably a good foot taller than the other one.
It is, yeah. That style, and I know people really don't like it, but you've heard of cars which are lowered called shakotan, like the word for a slammed car in Japan is called shakotan.
Now I know.
There you go. It means like low. It literally means like lowered suspension.
Okay.
The opposite, which is a style that Ueo and also Kawabata are actually fans of, it's called shako age.
Shako age.
Age means to raise.
Okay.
So raised suspension. So it's actually higher than stock.
They feel that there's an advantage to that.
Well, the advantage is a lot of movement of the suspension.
Right, there's a lot of travel, right?
A lot of travel.
Yeah.
A lot of space to fit big tires under there as well.
That makes sense.
Speaking of big tires, look at the big tires on this. Kazuya Matsukawa in the Toyota A85. Actually, good job there. He got around that little dry spot there. This is looking good so far. Matsukawa also D1 Grand Prix driver here this weekend. You can't get enough drifting. Now this Toyota A85, it's not an A86. Let's see how he negotiates the hairpin. Great. Okay, good line there from Matsukawa. In clip there and switches it back. In clip there. Great line. Wow, beautiful run. Beautiful run for Matsukawa. Of course, this car powered by a V6 twin turbo of all things. The Toyota 2GR. It's a 3.5 litre V6, the GR series of engines. You see them in a lot of cars these days. So just dropping a wheel off the edge of the track there, that's actually quite clever, counteracting the slight bit of grip there. Whether he planned that or not, I don't know, but it worked for him. Matsukawa here flicking it back and flicking it back again on the handbrake there, just bringing the back of the very safe entry there, bringing the back of the car in very slowly, just feeding on the angle. But after the hairpin though, right here, beautiful run here, almost perfect.
Yeah, right through here. That's really nice. He's the one that got the closest so far to that inside clip.
And we're all the way to the edge.
So explain to me the AE85 versus AE86.
Before we do that, let's look at this score. 77, highest score so far. Matsukawa. It's basically a different. Now I know there's a lot of A86 people listening right now who are probably they've already got their finger up in the air, ready to go. Well, actually,
yeah, you're not right.
You're
wrong.
You're right, but basically, anyone who's watched Initial D will know this too. The A86 was the good one. The A85 was the budget one.
Oh, okay.
All right. So what are the grades of like Civics? You know, there's like the Type R and the SI or whatever. It's like that. They actually had different chassis numbers. Okay. A86 or A85. Next driver now, Team Orange, Naoto Suenaga. Now, knowing Suenaga, spinning for him would be the most embarrassing thing ever right now. So I guarantee you're going to see a good run right now, and it's pretty much been. Well, very wide there. Along the wall. Woo! Nice. Beautiful run there. He didn't just go out towards the wall and back in. He ran along the wall.
That is a very
absolute
high line score.
Technician, Naoto Suenaga. So this car, the S15 Silvia of Team Orange. Previously running RB26. It's currently running a 2JZ. Sets it up, flicks it in. Great setup on the entry there. Little manji
Now look at his line, his tire right on the line.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Flicks it back here.
Angle wasn't the highest through there, we'll be honest, but he managed to get through, out to the zone, nice and tight to the wall.
Kept his angle there too. He didn't wind it off at all.
Yeah.
And back again. Losing a little bit of speed here and there.
A little bit.
But overall, good
really
base run to start off with.
Yeah, he's going to get a
SUENAGA.
high line score from me.
So if you can see right there, I can't quite see it. Just to the right, right to the right of screen, you can see a blue Ferrari sliding around. Just like where, look between where it says Yokohama and Advan, look straight up at that white fence. Like right behind that, there's a blue Ferrari in there. He's actually not doing it right now. Yeah, so Ferrari drifting. We may be seeing that a bit later on. We have 3 Ferraris out here doing displays this weekend, one of which is, you may have seen it on the internet before. It's a yellow one with that sort of fake rust patina design on it. It's also a manual with a hydraulic handbrake. Wow, 84. SUENAGA setting the bar right up there in the sky there for everyone else later on. Great run. Of course, unranked driver. That's why he's down here at this end of the qualifying field. Speaking of Team Orange, here is the boss of Team Orange, also the manager of Ebisu Circuit, Nobushige Kumakubo, otherwise known as Shihainin, which means manager. Everyone just calls him Shihainin. He's in a borrowed car this weekend. Not looking too bad so far. Had to straighten up a little bit there to get his speed down. But once again, nice line. Flick back here. Very early on the brakes there. Whoa, right up against the wall. Whoa, that's the most dangerous line we've seen there so far here today. Nobushige Kumakubo.
So he had some bobbles right there. Must be a slippery part of the track.
Yeah.
It looks more wet than definitely the initiation area.
It is, yeah. Let's watch this again. Wow. So the entry here from Kumakubo. See him working this. You really saw him working the steering wheel hard there. He wound off a lot of angle to try and slow down. Of course, so in the wet, more angle doesn't mean you're going to slow down like it does in the dry. And right here, well, look how far out he is. Ugh. Nice clean angle there. Now, but watch this flick back here right there. That is something that, actually, I mentioned this to SUENAGA before when we were talking just after the briefing. That is something that Japanese judges are extremely hard on, more so than judges from the United States and other countries. So score there 77 for Kumakubo, right there in the meat of the scores so far.
I like the look of this car.
This one, Takano is actually, he's from the same city where I used to live in Saitama. So I've driven with him quite a bit. Okay. And just sort of recently decided to try out his hand at Formula Drift. So going for a very stable entry there, just a straight handbrake. Can't blame him.
A little slower to angle, but still made it through.
Nice line. Flick back here. Yeah, a little bit slower than some of the cars we said. Yeah, big straight in there. That's, yeah. But as you can see, only just recently getting into competition here in Formula Drift Japan. And yeah, not very confident on that flick there towards the wall. Now we're going to have to watch the replay here because that could have been a straighten. Of course, in these wet conditions, cars which don't do a full transition, like we've seen some guys get a bit of a wobble and it looks like a straighten, but it's not on the transitions. It's not looked at as hard right now as it would be in the dry. But let's see what Takano does here. This is the part we want to look at right about here. There. Is that a straighten? Now, I'm sure the judges are going to have a bit of a look at that replay. The replay you just saw. Is that going to count as a straighten? Because his front and rear wheels, they were both going straight. However, his car was also driving in a straight line. You do sometimes see drivers when the front wheels and back wheel, of course, what am I saying? The rear wheels, of course, are straight, but the front wheels are pointing straight, but the car itself is actually still at angle or it's rotating. In those situations, it might not be zeroed, but We just saw there with Takano, he was going, his momentum was going forward in a straight line with his wheels going straight too. That's not drifting.
A lot of times what we look at is, did they have to reinitiate, or were they able to? Sometimes there's a bit of a hiccup, right, in a transition, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And in that situation, you can kind of work the car to angle, back to angle, without having to reinitiate necessarily. But this time it looked like the car was completely straight. He had to handbrake again and try to get the car back to angle. So in that case, it's a little bit too severe.
Right, so this might be a 0, and very unfortunately for YASAO Takano in his JZX100 Chaser.
Yes, I could tell you that we did indeed 0 it out, but our little pads that we enter on here have seemed to gone to a bad place right now.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, yeah.
So we have a
server error thing coming up here.
So unfortunately, that is a 0 there for Takano with that straight.
There we go. We're back. Takano.
So a big amount of people watching, considering the horrible conditions here today and how raining it was this morning. A lot of people probably would have looked out the window and go, I'll go on Sunday and watch the main competition. I don't need to watch qualifying. But still, it is a big event. FD is not the only thing going on here today. There's a whole bunch of other cool stuff to see.
A lot of, did you see the classic cars that are for sale up in the corner over there?
I did. I like that. That Laurel is like, oh.
Yeah, Robbie was telling me about that Laurel. I don't know much about the classic Laurels, you know?
Yeah.
But that one is pretty sharp.
They look cool.
Said they're very expensive as well, pretty rare.
They're getting expensive.
Yeah.
And they're just parked out there in the rain.
Yeah, that's what he said too. Poor thing. But he was equating it to the E30 M3s that we have in America that are very valuable. Oh, there's our 0.
There you go. 0 there for YASAO Takano. Unfortunately for him, he's going to have one more run. Really nice guy. I used to drive with him a lot back in Saitama.
What track would you drive on there?
Like Nikko Circuit.
Nikko?
Well, that's actually in Tochigi, but Honjo Circuit. Also a very small circuit near an airport, which is no longer used for drifting, unfortunately.
Aww.
Yeah. Next driver now, Yuji Saito, S15 Sylvia. Coming for his first qualifying run.
That was a big initiation.
Hangs it very wide. He's running very wide. He's saved it.
Wow.
Watch the flick back here and right here. Yeah, this is the sort of run we want to see. Whoa, whoa,
oh boy,
whoa!
oh boy.
It's going to be a collision.
That's
big hit.
Not going to work.
Yuji Saito. Wow, huge hit there for the S15 Sylvia. Oh, wow, look at the rear end. Absolutely mashed. Getting a bit carried away with how good the first part of his run was. Look at this initiation here.
Yeah.
Look at the rate to angle right there. That's huge there. He had to straighten up, but he had to wind off the angle a little bit. But doing really well here so far. Great line. Flick, but watch this flick here, right there. Wow. But he's on the accelerator. He's trying to go forward, but it's just not going forward, and bang. This is almost identical to the crash we saw yesterday.
It was.
With the up garage S15. Yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, that car's done.
Yeah, he probably won't be doing a second lap today.
I was saying that before. We saw yesterday, yeah, Taguchi in the up garage S15 Sylvia doing the same thing, getting knocked out, knocking himself out in practice yesterday, and we just saw the same thing here with Saito. Yeah, not too happy there, you can see.
Yeah, that was a big hit.
Luckily, he looks to be okay. Yeah, that sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, that really does. His body language is saying a lot right now.
Yeah, and a 0 there for Yuji Saito in the S15 Sylvia.
And on top of crashing, potentially writing off his car,
yeah,
he has to deal with getting a 0 points-wise as well. It's just another little stab in the side.
There you go. He's apologizing. Sorry about that.
Well, thankfully, he's okay, because a hit like that, I believe it would be a slower speed than in the dry yesterday. So
yeah, that's true.
It's still clearly a hard hit, but you can still tweak your neck pretty easily.
Yeah.
Han's device hasn't really caught on so much in Japan. It's something that we've been trying to incorporate, and hopefully in the future we will. But it's still, even at that kind of speed, hitting at an angle, the way your head can move with the helmet on, it can be dangerous. So hopefully in the future we have the Hans device in place, that rule. But yeah, like you were saying, it was an aggressive entry. Despite having to pull some angle out, he was doing a really good job through here.
Yeah.
Most drivers are being cautious through that transition right there.
So watch this right here as he gets on the accelerator and the car is not going forward. Yeah. He's getting on the power there, expecting that it's going to he's going to get that forward drive. But didn't happen. All right, so just as we recover Saito's car, we're going to go to a quick commercial break here at Okayama for Formula Drift Japan. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Welcome back.
Welcome to Formula Drift Japan. We are at Okayama International Circuit for round 5, the final round of the 2017 series. We are currently doing qualifying here, which had a big crash before S15 Sylvia of Yuji Saito. Unfortunately for him, going into the wall there and knocking himself out. I really don't think we're going to see him on his second qualifying run, unfortunately. But regardless of that, we're going to forge ahead with our next driver now coming up to the start line. We have Yoshimi Mori.
Sunoco is really involved in drifting in Japan, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think a reason for that is there's not really that many racing gas suppliers in Japan.
Okay.
There's not that many, and Sunoco seems to have originally, of course, with Daigo Saito,
right,
a big partnership with him back in the day, and it just seems that they've decided to supply a lot of drift drivers with sponsorship.
So what kind of race fuel would you be running in Japan?
Depends. I don't, to be honest. I should know this, but I don't. The guys out here are running. Hey, Robbie, what's the Sunoco that they're running? Like the Sunoco gas that they're running? Like what is it?
Very high octane?
Yeah, but like what level? Like 108 or something? Or it's like yeah. Yeah, it's like 108, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
That's sort of what I thought. Yeah, it's not stupidly it's not stupid race gas, but it's like 108 octane race fuel.
So it looks like there was a bit of a spill over there that they're still cleaning up.
So the course workers just double checking that there's no debris or spills on the track. Of course, we did have a collision there before with Saito, with the potential of leaking. Of course, Saito's car also, rear-mounted radiator, coolant getting on the track. Can be slippery.
Looks like we're sending our next car.
Right, here we go. Next driver now. Mori-san, Yoshimi Mori. He's an old guy. I think he's probably about 50. He's pushing 50 at least. He's
pretty old for the drifting world.
He's got a big grey ponytail. He's really good.
Whoa.
Wow. Okay.
See, he kept it on the track. He should get a score. He did a 360, kept it on the pavement.
So Mori, a little bit too aggressive on that first run of him.
Maybe.
There you go. You can see that. That's the sort of forward drive. Whoa, a bit of a slide there. That's the sort of forward drive that I think Saito wanted on his run. So Mori 0. So far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 zeros.
Eesh.
Wow, that's the conditions here. Of course, this track, high speed entry. Yeah, very aggressive there. And spinning out, bringing the back round. He did that pretty well, actually. Recovered from that.
Could have been worse.
So Mori-san, big 0 there for him in his S15 Sylvia. The Mori workshop also building a lot of they build a lot of competition drift cars.
What part of
for
Japan
other
is he
drivers? He is from Kanagawa, which is just south of Tokyo.
Kanagawa.
So he'll be getting one more chance to head out there. Now, this is interesting. This next driver, Yoshida from Supermade Racing, he's basically Mr. Supermade. Now, it's sort of unusual. Supermade, they were really popular like a long time ago, their body kits. Because they came out, this is back when it was all like BN Sports, Uras style, big fat skirt style drift body kits. And then Yoshida came out with these, the Instant Gentleman kits, which sort of look like this, very smooth, rounded. It became quite popular for a while.
I like the understated look myself.
It was sort of the Rocket Bunny of the time. That's still a very cool looking car. Now this guy running a very street style car with small wheels, small tires, long handbrake extension there, trying to keep the car sideways. Now technically this sort of car should have a slight advantage in these conditions. He's running those new work equips that came out a little while ago. But still struggling a little bit. It's not easy to drive, as you can see in these conditions. But he is completing the run. He is going to get a score. So Yoshida completing his first run. Also great color too, even in these overcast conditions. That nice deep cherry red color on that S15 Silvia. So watch the entry here. So handbrake, yeah, big long handbrake lockup. If you're not really sure about the track conditions, it is the most clever way to enter. If not very cool, but still gets the job done, gets a score down. Because with the amount of zeros we have so far, it is very highly potential that a lot of these guys are going to get a second zero, which is just going to immediately knock them out. So having any kind of score at this stage of the game is a good thing. Over the finish line there for Yoshida in the S15 Silvia. Because it still does have a full interior, this car as well. Or half interior. And there you go, 60. So score on the board for Yoshida.
So I'm seeing windshield wipers on some of the cars. I don't see rain from, right here, but I'm wondering if it's raining over there.
It could be.
His wipers are...
Well, we can see that the clouds are, like there's some clouds that are actually lower than us. You see, look, see over there to our right?
You're right, yeah.
In the valley there. So next driver now, Hirome, S15 Silvia. This is not bad so far.
Yeah, looking pretty good.
Okay, out of zone there, out of zone. Running the white line, beautiful line there, flicks back. A bit of it,
Uh-oh.
Ugly. Okay, now we're going to have a similar situation to what we saw there before with that straighten. Yeah, in the second half of this run, just falling apart a little bit. Now, once again, we saw there.
Oh, yeah, it is raining.
Oh, it is? Oh, you're
wet.
right. We saw that run there before with Takano, where he got a 0 for straightening after the transition under the Yokohama Bridge.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the severity here. It's one of those things you catch in person, right away, and you think, wow, that was pretty severe, but you always like to check.
Watching the replay here, so right there.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a straighten?
Full reinitiation, pretty much.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, that's a 0, sadly.
Unfortunately, a 0 there for Hirome on his first run.
He started so strong. The outside zone 1 was very, very strong. He was right on the white line all the way around.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately was a little too cautious at inside clip 1, which I think it's probably smart with the conditions to be somewhat cautious there.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he was just a little too cautious. I guess you run the risk of doing what Iha did earlier if you're not cautious enough.
Which is essentially destroying your car.
Destroying your car, exactly.
So yeah.
It's not easy with these changing conditions. And, we've got some contingency plans in place if the weather does get too bad, because it could potentially, we don't really know, this typhoon, I guess it's more of a tropical storm right now, but you never know. Right?
We never know how bad it could get. We're having, keeping an eye on the radar, keeping an eye on the weather reports. So we'll see what happens. All right, next driver now, Kenji Yamato. otherwise known as Jamaken, I always say that. S15 Sylvia, great looking car this.
That was a pretty solid initiation right there.
That was very smooth. Now, Yamada, I don't want to jinx him right now, but he always does very well in the wet. You can hear he's got that street-style accelerator work. Very, very wide. He's going to have to bail out a bit. Whoa! Yes, there you go.
Nice.
Now
Keep it going.
Keep it going. Whoop. Yeah, the run's not done yet. That's the finish line right there.
All right.
Yeah, he could have potentially just straightened up and made that a zero right there. So Jamaken, I guess I can say that he used to be a drifter of the non-circuit persuasion.
A drifter of the non-circuit persuasion.
I don't know how to put it and make it politically correct.
Right.
He's an OG street drifter, which is the type of guys who go out in horrible wet conditions, and they're the type of guys who, if they got to keep it off the walls and off the gutters. Look at this right here. This is so winds on a very slow, and zip, right there, just along the wall. It looked like he was going really wide.
It was a pretty notchy transition, I would say, right there.
It was a bit, yeah. But still, a nice, exciting run from the spectators' point of view. But we'll see what the judges have to say about Jamaken's first qualifying run. He's got that the brap style of accelerator work, which is always fun to watch. Especially if they can actually drive well, like Jamaken can.
Jamaken can.
And it's scored there 72.
72.
So not bad for his first run. Probably losing a few points. Losing a few points in style.
Yeah. He was down 7 points, sorry, on line.
On line, okay.
On line, yeah.
So there you go. So losing a bit on line.
So we have Morozumi.
Next driver now, Takahito Morozumi. DG5 suspension company. Sorry, Endless suspension company. Endless brake company. Actually works at Endless.
Oh.
And this car was built a long time ago for competition. He's brought it out of mothballs. And he's driving it in Formula Drift Japan this year. So taking a very safe line there.
Yeah.
Now that's okay. They were told in the driver's briefing this morning, points are being removed from that part of the track and put on another part of the track just to make it a bit safer for everyone. So he's playing the smart game here.
So how long was that car out of competition? You said it was mothballed for a while?
Well, I mean, it just sat in a warehouse, I believe. It ran in D1 Grand Prix, I don't know when. I think it was about 2012.
Okay.
With a different driver. See, they're really working hard. Brake, handbrake, brake, handbrake.
See the wheels really locking up there.
A little bit of handbrake there in the transition too. Right there. Yeah, okay. This is a very smart, safe run from Morozumi. He's doing that. You can see he's pulling the handbrake just as he begins to transition. And what that does is it really settles the car down.
And you can see as he approached that little horseshoe that we have there, that little tighter section as you go through. Oh, there we go. Score of 71.
And a good score there. 71 for Morozumi.
Yeah, going into that area can be pretty risky if you overshoot a little bit, and it's very easy just to overshoot too much, right? That amount that's going to end up putting your car into the wall in a dangerous manner, like we already saw. So he took the safe way in, a little bit more of a shallow line going in there. Still made it out to outside zone 3, not as deeply as some drivers, but enough to get a good score on the board.
Yeah, very good score considering the overall run.
For sure.
Okay, next driver now. Our next female driver. This is Masayo Minoa, the wife of Shinji Minoa. A bit over the edge of the track there. And that's a straighten.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Unfortunately, this is going to be a... Whoa, keep it off the wall there. This is going to be a 0 run, unfortunately, for Masayo Minoa. And completing her run there. Okay, so she's going to get one more run. Kept it off the wall, car's clean.
She was having transmission issues yesterday, and we weren't sure if they were going to get it fixed, but we could see that she did.
Ah, that's right.
Which is nice to see.
She's running the what's the transmission she's running there?
It's a sort of dog box. I'm not sure.
Isn't it one of the big 4-speed American ones?
Yeah, some NASCAR dog box style transmission.
Not Shinji. Robbie, what's Masaya running in her car? The gearbox. What box is she running in it? G-Force, yeah. So she's running one of the big NASCAR-style 4-speed G-Force boxes. And I believe yesterday she had the problem. So there you go. 0, unfortunately, for Masayomi Noah on her first run. It was the transmission, it could shift, like the transmission could move forwards and backwards.
Right.
She can go left and right. So basically she had 3rd and 4th gear. So managed to fix it somehow. I walked past the pit last night. There's a lot of banging and grinding sounding coming from inside that car. Okay, next driver now, Kazuki Hayashi, the Toyota 86. This is huge angle. No, he's not going to keep that. And 4 wheels off.
And a piece of the car.
Losing a bit of bodywork as well. He's going to continue the run, of course. This is his last chance to get some practice, despite it being a 0. Whoa, whoa, very wide. Whoa.
That's pretty risky considering he already has a 0.
Yeah. And, already losing a bit of bodywork. So yeah, the left rear of the car there losing a bit of bodywork. Let's watch the replay, see if you can see where it flies up. So wipers on. Wow, really squirrely there. The whole car moving around. No traction the entire time. And watch the right rear of the car. Left rear of the car, sorry. Yeah, bit of bodywork coming off there. Hayashi continuing his run. Unfortunately, that's going to be a 0 for him. So that 86 still powered by a 4-cylinder boxer engine. It hasn't had a 2JZ swap or something like that.
One of the rare ones.
Yeah, that is true.
It's getting difficult to keep my paper dry here.
The rain is getting is encroaching on our personal space here.
We keep backing up, but I don't know how much further we can go.
So 0 there for Hayashi. First run. So if you're just joining us now, welcome. Wherever you are, all around the world, you are watching Formula Drift Japan. Round 5, the final round here at Okayama International Circuit. We are currently about 1/4 of the way through qualifying. We're getting to about halfway through the first run. So we're still on the first runs. Next driver now, Junya Ishikawa in the S14 Sylvia. Actually doing really well in practice yesterday and today, this morning.
That's a lot of angle.
It's a lot of angle. Can he keep this? No, he can't. And it's a spin on the inside of the track. I shouldn't have called that out.
Your fault again.
Giving him the Murray Walker curse. Murray Walker, the Formula 1 driver, was that whenever he complimented someone, they'd always end up screwing up somehow. Whoa! Ah, he just hit the wall. You see that?
Just hit the wall. See, that's I get that you want to feel out the track.
Yeah.
You want to see how it feels. You want to see the grip level because, again, he does have another qualifying lap and he wants to feel it out. But that's the kind of area where you don't want to be taking big risks. There's 0 payoff to taking a big risk there right now. So,
unfortunately, we didn't see it because we were watching the replay, but as Ishikawa went down to the bottom half of the track to the hairpin, he came into contact with the wall and knocked off his rear bumper. So it shouldn't be too much damage. The car should be fine. Not a very smart thing to do there.
No, unfortunately.
But we will see him out there again for a second qualifying run. Okay, next driver now. Akihiko Hiroshima. Garage D Friends. Really cool looking car, this one. S15 Sylvia. Here comes the entry. There you go. Good, safe. Okay, this is a good start to a run. It's looking good. He's going to get into that outer zone. He's got a wheel over the edge of the track, though, but he filled that entire zone. Watch the transition here. There was a bit of a straight in there. That might be okay. Whoa, very wide. Very wide. Keep it off the wall. There you go. Nice work there.
That was exciting.
Hiroshima actually getting a round of applause from the crowd here for that. Whether that was luck or skill, I don't know. A bit of both, I think, but he read that exactly right. Let's watch this replay. So Hiroshima, Garage D Friends. S15, really cool looking graphics on the side of this car. So here comes his entry. Up through the gears, keeping it stable. Handbrake.
That was a good entry.
Very good. Off the handbrake very early too.
Yeah.
So right here, now watch this. Too wide here. Wheel off the edge of the track.
Yeah.
Now, if that was on the white line, that would have been perfect. Now, a bit of a wobble there. Now, is that going to be penalised or not? Not sure yet. And right here, you're looking at, he's into the wall, isn't he? Nope.
No, he made it through.
Sake. He made it through.
So he did miss outside zone 2 by quite a bit. He was very late, which is, I think, what led him to being so early on outside zone 3.
Right.
So line-wise, he's going to have a bit of a deduction going through that area, but he's going to get a score on the board, as you've been saying. Very important to do so.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you at least have something on the board so you can get a little crazier in the second run.
So when saying very late to the outer zone 2, that's the just past the transition as they flick the car to the right to set up for that hairpin. That's the outer zone. So yeah, he was very late, only just getting onto angle right at the end of that zone.
Right.
Still, regardless of that, great run from him. Very exciting to watch. See, there's becoming a collection of different coloured scrapes on that wall there. There used to be, and a 74.
And body parts behind the wall, too.
That's, yeah, there's going to be a big collection of fiberglass.
Yeah.
So there's a red scrape, a white scrape, a blue scrape, and like another white scrape. Yeah.
I'm sure somebody that's pretty artistic could go over there and make a great photo out of all of the scrapes and make it look really meaningful.
Yeah, yeah.
If somebody was inclined in that way. I know Andy's got his camera with him. Maybe we can get him over there later.
We'll do that. We'll go down there on the track at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Next driver now, Toshiharu KAZAMA. That is the KAZAMA Auto KAZAMA.
That was a late initiation.
That was very, very late, maybe even past the final marker. And this is very wide too.
Yes.
Whoa, don't mess it up there. Okay, transition. That's the outer zone we were just talking about there before.
Yeah.
And a straight. This is going to be a 0 for KAZAMA. And around you go.
He looked overly cautious. Wasn't able to let the car move around.
Yeah.
He was controlling it too much,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Is this going to be some sort of you're only in control when you're out of control sort of thing? So there's not really a whole lot you can say about this run, apart from the fact that, yeah, as Ryan Lantane pointed out, he was very, very cautious about everything he did here, which resulted in the drive being very juddery and not the prettiest, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the transition back here. He's like,
No. Very cautious.
and
Too much throttle right there.
And then he's like, okay, now we go. And
yeah.
it's like spin.
a little too late.
That's the thing about drifting is too little too late.
Too much too late? Is that what that would be?
You know what that was like?
What?
If you watch drifting and it looks like they've gone, okay, now, like that's too late.
Yeah.
You can't go, okay now.
Yeah.
You have to set the car up and have it ready. But that's the trick. It doesn't look like you're doing that.
Right.
Okay now. So if you see them doing that okay now motion.
Right, it's like trying to sit in the passenger seat and should tell somebody when to get on throttle.
Next driver now, Tadahiro Fukada. Fukada just sort of, he's always there in FD, never really at the top end. Let's see what he can do today. Not looking too bad so far. Actually, this is really good.
Yeah.
Just got to keep it off the wall. Woo, right
nice.
to the edge there.
Very nice.
Nicely done. Okay, but ignoring that, it's a good run so far. He's going to get in there. Okay, good. Nice and close there, in clip. If this run was maybe 5-10 kilometers an hour faster, would have been exceptional. So let's watch the replay here for Fukada. See, he's got those wipers going very long on the handbrake there. Thankfully for him, he's got the type of wheels that have that sort of graphic on one of the spokes, so you can quite easily see when the wheels are stopped, even though they're black. And right here, on the accelerator, look at that, holding that angle. He was actually winding on angle towards the wall. That was very good there.
He was very confident going through there.
Very confident driving from Fukada. This should be a fairly good score. Now, I don't want to, I'm not taking credit for this. Someone else said this, but the wall could be a book by Dr. Seuss. 1 scrape, 2 scrape, red scrape, blue scrape.
Very clever.
Hopefully we don't add to that too much. 83,
83.
Fukada. Like I just said before, always just kind of there in FD. He's never really gotten to the top end. Could this be his day? 83, great first run.
Yeah, I like that.
He is a very experienced driver. He's, I don't know exactly how old he is. He's about 37, 38. So
he has Formula Drift US aspirations as well.
He does. He really wants to make it over to the USA and drive over there. All right, next driver now, Tomonori Tasaka. In this S15 Silver, you can see they haven't removed the wing for any reasons apart from the fact that he hit the wall and it got ripped off.
It's a pretty good reason.
Yeah. So this build here, SR20 powered, keeping it clean. So Tasaka also, a new build for this season, never really found its stride. Once again, like we just saw there with Fukada, could this be a round where Tasaka does very well? Not a bad first run. Let's watch the replay here. So this car, it looks more extreme than it is. It's a fairly simple build overall. SR20 powered, so 4-cylinder still. Long handbrake slide there. And, you know, that's sort of understandable in these conditions. Right along the white line, they're coming off it a little bit early. But in these wet conditions, it makes sense to do everything a bit earlier than you need to give yourself a bit of space. Remember, this is the first qualifying run. So what these guys need to do is just get a score down, get a score. And there you go, not a bad run there. 76 for Tomonori Tasaka. So 2 guys in a row who don't normally do that well, getting really good scores. Okay, next driver now. One of our international entries in FD Japan, Chris DeJager from Melbourne, Australia.
Is that your hood?
I'm from Sydney, but it's close enough.
Close enough, right?
Big angle from Chris DeJager. He's got to keep this and he's going to spin.
I get that all the time because I'm from Canada. Hey, do you know Bob from Canada? Yeah, I just figured. Since you're both from Australia, you must be from the same place. I mean, it's not like it's a big rock or anything.
It's not like it has about as much land mass as the USA.
Exactly, yeah. It doesn't take days to cross or anything.
So this entry here from Chris, so handbrake entry there. Yeah, maybe that coming around a bit faster than he thought. Because it has been raining again for the past few minutes, so the track probably has returned to being very slick. Chris DeJager, I believe, so there's 0 there for Chris on his first run.
Up next, we have our second Saito of the day so far.
Our second Saito.
I think, right? We already had a Saito. This is another Saito. Is Saito the Smith of Japan?
No, Suzuki is the Smith of Japan.
Ah, okay.
Saito is probably the, I don't know.
White or brown?
Yeah, maybe the white, yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot of angle.
That's a lot of angle there from Saito.
Pulled some out.
Yeah, he wound it off, wound it back on, and Saito, not much you can say about that run.
No.
it's still worth a watch just to see where the mistakes are. So you can see the car really squirreling around there. He's trying to get the power down. And yeah, winding it off and winding it back on. Spinning out. 0.
I'm seeing more and more good ride cars too in competition. He was a good ride car. Tires.
Good ride. Yes, yeah, good ride tires.
Yes,
that's
you're
right.
seeing more and more of that brand. Are they becoming more popular in Japan?
Good ride, yes, it is becoming more popular, especially for guys who don't already have a relationship with a tire company.
Okay.
Are finding it a bit easier to get established with Good Ride, who have come in fairly recently. They do make, I can't remember the model name of the tires, but they do make one which people have found performs quite well in drifting.
Okay.
So yeah, Good Ride. It's good to see more sponsors coming on.
It is. Are they more of a budget tire?
Yeah, they are one of the more budget ones.
But they have a high-end tire, don't they? Clearly, these guys must be running on a more high-end racing style tire.
That's right. Yeah.
He looks like one of those people on that work at the airport with the orange.
The
plane directors.
Plane guys. Yeah.
We should get him a couple of those things, maybe.
The glow stick things.
Yeah, he sees like he's being he's a little impatient with the arms. Come on. But the guy's taking his time. Come on. Yeah.
Is he going to clench his fists or is he going to hold his hands up, his palms up? There you go, hands there.
And another Saito.
Shinichiro Saito this time from Car Guy Racing. Now, if you go on Facebook and look up Car Guy, they actually run like Lamborghinis and crazy stuff like that in races. It's a group of guys. I'm not going to say rich guys. Well, actually, I'm going to say rich guys. It's a bunch of guys who have cash and they know how to spend it on good things. I'll say that much.
Right. They like to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of it.
And a spin.
Apparently, it's slippery on entry.
Right. What's the Lamborghinis that like the super duper race built ones?
Trofeo.
Trofeo. That's they've got an eye-searingly green Trofeo, I think it is. They run in competition over here, and also there's.
I've seen their Enzo, I believe. Sometimes they wrap it in. Is it pink? From time to time, you see some pretty crazy colors on some of their cars.
Yeah, it's a big group of guys who sort of all roll together, and they all own all sorts of crazy stuff.
Good for them.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think I forget the guy's name, but he was he was the first guy to have what's the McLaren, the P1?
P1,
like the ridiculous one?
The ridiculous one.
He was the first one to have one in the country.
Oh, really?
And he just drove it down to Daikakufudo and just parked it there, and everyone lost their minds.
Yeah, I imagine they would.
Yeah.
Pretty rare, pretty special.
So Shinichiro Saito there. 0 for him, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. And up next we have, I believe, our good friend James Tang.
James Tang. He should be heading around very shortly.
He drives I believe that's a 1 Series, is it not?
It's a 120i coupe with a 2JZ.
And I hear it's quite the car, quite the setup. A heck of a package.
It's a very nice car.
Yeah.
It looks nice. It looks like how you'd sort of imagine a drift build should look when it's finished.
The way that it moves too. It looks when he's on it, and I mean when he's on it. What I mean by that is when James is on his game, when he's driving really well, the car looks phenomenal. Yeah. It looks like it moves really well. It's got good traction, but he's still able to achieve the high angle that we're looking for in the areas that he needs to. Just looks really well built and really well put together. It is. It really is. It's got that BMW sort of that real BMW look to the livery as well. That's the M colors. So yeah, it looks the part for sure. All right. You'd imagine if BMW sponsored drifting, that's how it would look. This is what it would look like. Yeah, for sure. Well, despite the fact it's got a 2JZ. Yeah, good point. Anyway, James Tang. So short wheelbase car. Despite that, now, remember the ripple strip is very slippery. He's got to keep it going. Don't straighten up, James. Keep it going. That's it. There you go. Now slow it down. Keep it off the wall. Keep it off the wall. Nice run there from James Tang. He flicks it back. It's not done yet. We're not done yet. If he spins here, it's over. There you go, over the finish line. Smashing that limiter. The thing goes over the finish line on that 2JZ limiter. Wow, great run.
This is interesting. We're seeing guys who don't normally do that awesome to start off with doing really well right now.
Yeah.
James on his game today. A little bit wobbly there, but still okay.
Yeah. I was a little worried right here. I did not think that he was going to hold.
That looked like it was going to spin there, but no, he kept it.
Yeah, and then went 2 tires off here.
Yeah. That short wheelbase of that car, obviously an advantage there. He was able to sort of maneuver it back.
This right here was phenomenal. Going by that wall, that outside zone 3, very close to the wall. He looked confident going through there too. He didn't hesitate. So good job keeping it off the wall. He did have some errors. He's going to definitely get docked on line and angle for some of those areas, but overall he is going to get a score, which is, as we said, the important part today. You really want to just get through the course. Doing some math here, not my strongest suit.
I'd like to remind everyone right now that Ryan Lantane is doing double duty right now as judge and commentary. So probably the hardest working guy here this weekend. So that's why occasionally he's going to have to go quiet on the mic to do some mental maths.
Yep.
2 + 2 = 4.
21 and 67.
-3, that's -3. That's one quick math.
One quick math. I'm not sure I know what you're talking about, but it sounds fun.
It's just a gun. It's big. It's
an internet man.
It's Big Shack on the internet.
On the internet.
All right, for all the internet people out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know what. Mandem know what I'm saying. All right, so James Tang. Sorry, I missed his score. Did James' score come up?
He got a 67.
67 for James Tang.
You were too tied up in your own voices.
My memes and things like that. My dank memes. Next driver, now, I apologize, internet. I'm sorry. Next driver, Jin Harino. In the S15 Silvia. So this also, the sort of the type of car you'd look at and go, yeah, that's what a drift car build should look like. Very nice car. Professional racing driver.
That looks fast.
That is a fast entry there. Nice early entry. Smooth. Here you go. This is a racing driver for you. Knows how to drive in these conditions. Very shallow on the angle, but keeping his speed nice up and high. Yeah, a bit of a wobble there. But this is looking pretty good so far for Jin Harino. Very slow. They're almost parking it.
Yeah, he looked a little cautious right there.
Very cautious.
Very cautious. Oh, that's super ultra straight.
Was that straight there?
That was very straight.
It looked fairly straight.
It looked as though the car completely gripped up, completely square.
And had to reinitiate.
Driving for a little while. And I don't know what he was waiting for to reinitiate at that point. The quicker the better, generally. I mean, if you can get that thing back to angle, try to trick us at least, you know, make an effort.
Yeah.
It didn't look like a whole lot of effort was made in that particular area right there.
So look at this right here. Look how smooth he is here. Of course, he is a fair way off the track, trying to keep his speed up.
Right there. Yeah, pretty straight there as well.
That wasn't that great right there. We have seen people before get penalized for that exact thing.
We have, yeah.
And yeah, almost parking it right there.
Yeah, definitely the worst straight was right here. Just square.
Yeah, he was square on the track, so.
Yeah, I cannot in all good conscience give that a score, unfortunately.
Especially when we've given other people zeros for the same sort of driving.
Exactly. I get that it's slippery, I get that it's hard, but we've had drivers get through, get a score. We've also had quite a few spins, but the people that are able to get through, that's what
drifting.
we're looking for. That is drifting.
That's drifting.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh, it's too wet. I don't want to.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna park my car and watch.
It's too wet. You want me to? It's wet. You're supposed to slide around in the wet.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah. My best times at Ebisu have been in the wet.
I agree, actually. Yeah.
Chief among the reasons is I don't have to change tires every 20 minutes.
That's it.
But you just get into a groove, right? You're driving and you're driving and you're driving. You really, really get a lot of seat time and you get so comfortable. Yeah, definitely. The rain is a blessing when you're there sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah. And you can do a lot of, you can learn a lot.
I would actually go up on purpose sometimes when it was raining.
Yeah.
When I had a day off, like a weekday.
I'd be upset if I went on a trip and it was dry the whole time.
Right. Okay. Next driver now, Ichiyanagi in the 1VR. So already looking good. Wow, look at that. Wow, if this was dry, this would be an absolute cloud of smoke right now.
Yeah, this is great.
Ichiyanagi. We were just talking there before about, no excuses in the wet.
Yeah. This
Ichiyanagi. Fire. Good pop and a big pop and a bang.
Yeah.
coming past that wall there. Switches back, a little bit messy there, but slowing down, going
But
uphill.
he's making it through.
But he made it through. Nice. The first 3/4 of this run by Ichinagi, fantastic. So you know, this is what we're talking about. No excuses. If he can do it, you can do it.
You got it.
We go watch the replay here for Ichinagi. So cautious entry there, very clever. Right, look at right at the edge of the track though. He really knows how to place his car. Right there. I wish that was dry.
And the car looks so settled. That's a huge part too. He's not
wobbling around.
Yeah, not a lot of bobbles. The car's rotating really well. He looks confident in the car. Look at him coming up to that wall. No hesitation.
Yeah.
Really good run.
And flicks it back there. Starting to slow down. Lost a bit of speed there over the finish line.
So the fact that we are running this event in the wet the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Some people might say, well, you know, it puts a lot of drivers at a disadvantage, but that just happens to be the conditions that we're driving in right now, 83.
83 for Ichinagi.
And the fact that we're going to be running in the rain tomorrow, that's no secret.
100%.
The storm is still coming.
100% chance of rain.
It's definitely going to happen. So what we want tomorrow are the best wet drivers. And if you're having an issue getting through the track in the wet today,
pack it up.
Pack it up, because you're not going to be able to hang tomorrow. And that's going to be the goal. That's why I like when it's a wet weekend as opposed to like one wet day.
Yeah,
right?
like qualifying is wet.
Qualifying is wet, and then the strong
dry.
wet drivers, if it's dry tomorrow, it makes for a weird competition sometimes.
Right, next driver now, Masuyama.
That was also fast.
Nice entry here in the S15 Silvia, 2JZ powered S15 Silvia, right to the edge of the track. Nice, this is a good line so far. Now, second outer zone right there, good. This is good so far.
Uh-oh.
Well, bit of a...
No, he managed to get it in there.
Oh, it looks like he's going to extend out towards the wall for a second there. Keep it clean, don't straighten here. Nicely done.
So, despite all the zeros we've had for spins,
yeah,
we just had two really strong qualifying runs in very wet conditions. Good to see.
Yeah. So there you go. We just had an 83 from Ichinagi. Of course, before we had an 83 from Fukada as well. And look at the line here. Look at the front wheels too. Very little movement of the car. Just that slight little adjustments there just to keep it on line. Handbrake. Right here, like right there. Actually, that was a very nice adjustment there. He actually went towards the wall.
Right.
He knew he was he might come a bit short.
That's a big part of the style aspect as well, is the car looks really planted. It doesn't move around a lot. It doesn't look choppy.
Yeah.
It was very smooth.
There's the Japanese word for that is kaku kaku.
Kaku kaku.
Like it's imagine something that's what's something that would make the word kaku kaku? Like when you open a door and it creaks.
Yes.
And it makes a sort of sound. Like it's that feeling of something turning not smoothly.
Not smoothly.
It's
okay.
like a git,
right.
like
it
that.
skips and it catches.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
That's
kaku,
what they call
kaku,
it.
Kaku
Kaku kaku. His angle was kaku kaku.
I'm learning so much.
There you go. Next driver now. This is not Iha. This is Miyoshi.
Yeah, Iha was the victim of
a
terrible
crash. That's right. This is Miyoshi in his ER34. Straighten. That's going to be a 0.
Yeah, that was. And this is not looking good either.
Whoa! Whoa!
How did he not hit that corner?
Woo! But straighten there.
Yeah,
that's going to be a 0. On the other hand, I was talking before about things that comparing American judges to Japanese judges, and saying that the Japanese judges are generally much harder on that kaku kaku angle that we were just talking about there before. Wait, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? This is something. Let's watch this replay, and I'll probably remember.
All right.
So we have Miyoshi doing his entry here.
You can see him really pulling a lot of handbrake to get the car where he needs it, keep it at angle. But he managed to get out to outside zone run really well.
He did. Now right here, threw it a bit hard.
It got very, very choppy through there.
Yeah.
And you could see a huge straight, and the car was completely settled in a straight line. Not what we're looking for. And as you said, zeros have been given for the same type of movement or error on the track. So keeping, things steady and consistent.
Yeah.
Another 0 will be given for that.
I mean, it's similar to anyone out there who has come from a racing background. And, there's that whole smooth is fast.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What is it? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. It's the same thing.
Tanaka.
So we had there.
Semi
Tanaka.
Semi Tanaka.
Tanaka is also a very. Tanaka is like
pretty common, right?
It's not the most common name, but it's like if you know you see like a credit card commercial,
yeah, right.
And it says like John Smith,
yeah,
or John.
The Japanese version of that.
Tanaka is that version.
Right.
Yeah.
What would be the first name?
It is Taro. Taro Tanaka.
Okay. Look at that. That was pretty good.
But, this is not Taro. This is Semi Tanaka. Very wobbly there in the transition. His car looks very twitchy.
Yes.
Difficult to hold in these conditions. Yeah, this is not a good run.
No.
He is going to complete this run. He will get a score, but ugly run for Semi Tanaka.
The car does not look settled. He doesn't look confident in the car either. I don't know if it's a setup thing that he's not feeling that he can really trust the car.
Yeah.
But from the outside, it's very apparent that he does not look comfortable behind the wheel in this in these wet conditions. The initiation looks strong.
Wow, look at that.
Looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of set the bar pretty high in the beginning. He managed to get the car really close to the line. He was right on it for a while. Look at that.
So far.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But then this transition is where everything fell apart. Really, really low angle, kind of straight.
Yeah.
That was not ideal. And then you can see from there on, he's not settled in the car at all.
Just falling apart in that second half of the run.
Not the best.
So that's a shame. So he will get a score for that, but it's not going to be as good as it could have been if he kept the tempo he had on the first half of the run on that second half. It would have been a fantastic run.
Yep.
It's unfortunately for him. I didn't write down Miyoshi's score. What was Miyoshi's score again?
Miyoshi had a 0.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, yeah, that's straight. So Semi Tanaka. Yeah, that entry you saw the front of the car diving down. That's from slamming on the brakes to get the weight off the rear. The back popping out and just sliding along in a straight line at angle. That was great.
It was.
That's a real skill in drifting. People who can initiate and continue the momentum of the car in a straight line. So there you go. Wow, it's really unfortunate for Tanaka. 59. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Yamada is the credit card name. Taro Yamada.
Okay. But Tanaka seems like a pretty common
Tanaka is
name
also, well, the reason for that is a lot of Japanese names come from, like, it's not from a job like it is for Western names, like, you know, Smith or Baker
right.
or, you know, whatever. It comes from places. For example, our next driver, Kunihiko Takahashi here in the
Interesting about Takahashi,
Mark X.
He was not here during practice at all yesterday.
At all?
He was not here at all yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. He just showed up today.
Wow.
Look at him go.
So a former D1 Grand Prix champion. He also campaigned a season of Formula Drift Japan, but most people probably don't remember him because he did not perform well at all, unfortunately. It was weird. He came straight off a championship of D1 Grand Prix and then just basically was in the bottom part of the field in FD for various reasons.
Right. Well, it's very different. I understand. It's just like when a driver that doesn't know DOS goes to compete there. It's a steep learning curve.
Well, we saw that
when you're so accustomed to one system.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's completely different. You have to adjust your driving style, your initiations. Everything has to change.
So I was saying there before, Takahashi. Takahashi means it means high bridge.
High bridge.
So he probably lived near a mountain village. His ancestors lived near a mountain village which had like a bridge between it or something like that. I don't know. Not really sure. But Yamada means mountain rice field.
Oh, okay.
Of which there are a lot. And Tanaka, the other popular name, means middle of the rice field, of which there is a lot. So
also a lot.
It's also a lot. So score there, 77 for Takahashi. Don't say we never teach you anything here on Formula Drift Japan.
Yeah, if you watch enough of these events, you should probably speak some pretty good Japanese.
That's it.
With your instruction.
There you go.
Yeah, you should be charging people.
I'm accepting PayPal donations.
PayPal, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for your Japanese instruction. I should probably be paying you too. You teach me a lot.
No, not anything useful.
Well, it depends what you consider
Depends
useful.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Depends on the circumstances.
I think in every language you should learn how to say hello, hello, how are you, thank you, like, hello, how are you, thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry, 1 beer please. And you should be good for travel in pretty much any country.
Quick correction here. Takahashi should have an 82. His score is an 82, not a 77. So there's a bit of an error.
Okay.
We're going to blame Robbie Nishida for that.
So here comes the next driver now. This is Yoshinori Shinozaki, and it's going to be a spin, so I guess we don't really need to comment the rest of this run.
No, we don't.
So the run we saw with Takahashi, was it? The yellow Mark X
Yeah, the
Gs.
previous run, you got it.
It was not a 77.
But an 82.
An 82?
Yeah, Robbie Nishida has taken blame for that.
Okay.
He put the wrong score, the wrong numbers into his pad, and that's 2 spins. So does he get a double 0? How does that work? So Shinozaki 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Many zeros entered on the pad, and yeah, unfortunate. But Takahashi will be happy that the score that he was originally given was not correct, and he does have an 82 instead of a 77. So good for him.
So yeah, I was quite a little bit surprised, but I thought it would have been a higher score.
And you were right.
I was right about what?
About Takahashi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So replay here, bit aggressive there for Shinozaki, and a 360 keeps it a little bit just out of the dirt.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, are you getting a sound of rain coming through your headset or not?
I can hear it a little bit.
Can you hear a little bit of rain?
Yeah, I can hear it in my headset.
Okay. Well, we are. If there is a bit of a rain sound coming through, we are undercover, and there's not rain hitting us. There's a lot of plastic around the place with rain hitting it, so you may be hearing that.
I find it soothing personally.
Well, we're not trying to. This isn't an ASMR live stream. We're supposed to be hearing blaring wastegates and 2Js on limiter, and you know.
Well, in between runs, you have the calm, soothing sounds of rain hitting plastic.
Welcome to Formula Drift Japan.
Welcome.
Round 5, 2017, here at Okayama Speedway. We're about to have our next driver now. This is Kanta Yanaguida in the S13 Sylvia. Let's get into it. Yanaguida in the S13 Sylvia. Once again, young guy, just barely out of high school.
Aggressive driver.
Wow, look at this. Nice outline there for Yanaguida. Watch the flick back here. This is where people screw up right here.
Yep.
He's being cautious with it.
Wow.
Whoa, that's going to be a collision with the wall. No.
Too bad. Just a little too much.
A little bit too much of a hit, sending Yanaguida around. Wow, he could have just skimmed that and got away with it. But, and gotten a score. Gotten, that's not very good English, is it? And received a score for his run. Fortunately for him, it's going to be a 0 for Yanaguida.
That's a shame.
Let's watch the replay here. So, once again, strong first half of this run. Up through the gears, very smooth there. This car running an SR20 4-cylinder, so very traditional build. Fairly low power, fairly low budget compared to the rest of the Formula Drift field. So flicks back here, flicks it back again, on the brakes there.
It was a promising looking run.
And right about here, yeah.
You know the only positive thing that came out of this?
Tell me.
We have a new color on our wall over there.
The green, do we?
I believe we have a little bit of green on there.
Oh, yeah, just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on that joint. We do have it, yeah.
We should not be rejoicing in people's misery, such as crashing and getting a 0, but...
I'm going to take a photo of that later on and put it on Instagram.
That wall is going to be very colorful.
So unfortunately, Yanaguida leaving a bright green scrape mark on that wall down there after his first qualifying run. Did I mention we're still only in our first qualifying runs? We have so many people here this weekend, so many drivers. Close to 50. The pits were absolutely full. When I pulled in yesterday, it was sort of surprising to see how full the pits were of all the trucks and support vehicles. And it was great to see such a big turnout to this event. So this next driver, Oshiro, Daichi Oshiro, traditionally a very aggressive driver, sometimes beyond the point of good sense.
Nicely. Ooh.
Bit of a straight there. I'm going to just say that that might be okay. Okay,
yeah.
not too bad. Bit of a wobble. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so
this is where they start to, this is the unsettled part, right? Where the car does not look, it's unsettled.
The car just does not look comfortable. They're driving in a reactionary way.
Yes.
They're driving to the condition, like they see the conditions are sort of forcing them to do various things.
Right. They're surprised by what's occurring.
That's it.
The amount of traction, grip, how much the car is moving around, and it's not an easy thing to do at the level that we're asking these drivers to do. But we have seen some moments of real greatness from some drivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put in this situation.
And right there to the edge of the wall there. Yeah, looks good. But yeah, straight in there.
Yeah. So the style and angle are definitely going to suffer through those areas.
I've mentioned this previously on these competitions when it rains, but in Japan they call it an ame yaro. Ame yaro, like ame yaro. Ame yaro. It's hard to say that. Yeah, yaro. Ame means rain. Yaro means like bloke or fella. So he's a rain guy.
Rain guy.
He knows how to drive in the rain. Like rain suits his style.
Rain Man.
Ah, well.
Not quite.
Not quite in the Dustin Hoffman sense.
Yeah.
Definitely like to drive in the rain, yeah. That's an old... I'm just wondering how many people actually watching this have seen. Score there 65 for Oshiro. So not a bad base to start off with. Probably wouldn't get him... It would get him into the top 32, I'd say, by this stage.
So, Alexi, who's our next driver?
Next driver, this guy, Kazuya... Why's that?
Just being weird.
Next driver, Kazuya Iizuka. 2JZ, S15 Sylvia.
Seems to be the combo, huh?
It is... I mean, I always say that if you had to build, the
ultimate, right?
The ultimate drift car is a 2JZ S15 Sylvia. I always say that.
I love that you say Z too.
Z?
Oh no, being Canadian, I get laughed at a lot.
Oh, I see. He's got the anti-lag going this weekend.
Oh boy.
Woo! Right to the edge of the wall there. Very, very ginger. Actually, you can hear that accelerator work. I'm just going to straight up and say it. That's a street drifter thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dudes who that they're the street drifter guys. It's just a style that
the people we do not
across.
Speak about that don't exist.
Look, it's the end of the season. I'm not saying he street drifts. I'm just saying that's a style that, that they
those
use.
People tend to adapt.
The opinions of Alexi Smith do not reflect those of Formula Drift Japan and its subsidiaries. But let's look at this run here from Iizuka. It's not looking too bad so far. Nice angle there. Flick back here. Yeah, you're just using the handbrake to allow the rear of the car to come around slowly. It seems hit the brakes there to try and slow the car down while keeping the accelerator going. Keeping the accelerator on and keeping the wheels spinning. So, being slightly more aggressive than maybe the conditions should normally allow for. But Iizuka, nice run, his first run. Really attacking the course. 73 for Iizuka in his first run. So not too bad. A lot of potential you can see in that run. If he managed to get that a bit smoother, great first run base for Iizuka.
Rotary.
All right, another Dorito car here this weekend. Bootleg Han, as he's become known. He looks like the car from Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Kenji Yamato, 13B, so only 2 rotors.
But using all
2 of them.
All 2 of them.
Flicks it back. Bit of an opposite angle.
We had an opportunity for orange on the wall, but we didn't really get it.
That's not. Keep it going. Don't straighten up.
Really pushing the outside envelope of those 2 Doritos spinning.
I was going to say pushing the lower end of grip and straightening up there. That was. That car sounded a lot faster than it was actually going. Very slow.
Yeah.
That run there from Yamamoto. Hopefully we can see the replay. There we go. Quite slow here. Look at that. Working the not the handbrake. Working the steering wheel. Flick back here. Yeah, really, it was really, if you look closely in the on the steering wheel there, you can really see his hands flailing around trying to keep that car at angle. So Yamamoto, here comes the replay. So nice entry here, out of zone. I believe we're just watching this replay just to make sure there's no issues with straightening on his run. And it's looking pretty good so far. Nice out of zone there. Now towards the wall. Look how hard he's working that steering wheel. Right there, flick back. Ugh. I'm going to say that's probably okay. That's not going to be a 0. But once again, I'm the judge. Just the dude here letting you know what's going on.
Come on, Alexi.
Well, I've judged. I'm never going to judge. I've judged them. I'm not doing that again. That's the hardest job. You, Lantain, have the hardest job here this weekend.
People tell me that.
You do. Seriously, you do. I don't know how you can do it.
24, 5, 10, 15, 24. All right. Score entered.
3 minus 1. Quick math.
Quick math. They give us a lot to do here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you have to.
I have my own personal notes that I do. I have to enter it into the screen, and then plus I have to write by hand.
So a 65 for Kenji Yamamoto. So a good first run, which had to, I believe the judges were checking the replay for reasons. For reasons
that involve straightening, but we just wanted to make sure that what he did was not too severe. And the angle judge would have taken care of, the less severe angle issues.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing.
All right. So next driver now, Imamaeda. S14 Sylvia. Nice entry there.
Wow.
Maybe a bit offline.
He's a little inside.
He's going to go all the way out. Yeah. Here we go. Keep it on. Just keep it on red line.
Yeah, just floor it.
Just keep it mashed. You're good, mate. There you go. Beautiful. You're sweet. Just keep it off the wall now too. Okay. Save of the day for Imamaeda there. Just, of course, this car, SR20. SR's not the biggest fan of being bounced off red line. They're sort of more of a keep it in the mid-range torque monsters, not red line, banging off the red line straight sixes. But the Imamaeda, that is going to be a score for him. Let's watch this entry again. This is a nice entry. Look at that. Wow. Look at how much he cut it in and flicked it back. Fortunately, he cut it back. The way he cut it back was a little bit slower than, like he steered a bit slower than he should have. Of course, being wet, just have to wind back everything a little bit. But that did screw up his line. Going into that first corner, had to stand on the accelerator.
His line score will not be the best.
No, won't be the best.
No, won't be the highest we've seen so far.
So 54, so that is a score on the board. But unfortunately for Imamaeda, despite the fact he kept that run going a lot better than you might have expected he would.
That is a good point.
It's about as good as he would have hoped, 54 there. Oh, that's the noise that people are hearing, that sound, the water falling down. Yeah.
The next up is Yo Boy Yokoi.
Hashtag Yokoi hype.
Is that a thing?
No, that's my thing.
You just made that up.
Well, because, I mean, just the thing about Yokoi, just for some reason, he's always, I mean, first of all, he's a good driver.
Yes.
And he quite often comes up against very, very strong opponents. Which usually was, just for some reason, Yokoi's battles are always very exciting.
Agreed.
So it's just, he's an enjoyable guy to watch.
Right. He's a very high-level driver, very skilled, very consistent as well.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him this morning in practice, rain practice, pulling off some
runs that we didn't expect to see.
Yeah, like 1 millimeter precision in these conditions.
Yes.
Here comes Yokoi, his first qualifying run. Long straight entry there. Clean. We're talking about settled.
Look at that.
He's winding on angle on the limiter. Oh, that was messy.
Yeah,
that was messy. That was messy right there. Whoa, all the way to the edge. Keeping it off the wall. Once again, settled looking car there. Flicks it back. over the finish line. But under the Yokohama gantry there,
Yeah.
that was pretty ugly.
Yeah, that'll be an angle deduction. Definitely at that inside clip for sure. Yeah,
So
that'll be.
let's watch the start here. So Yokoi, 2JZ, S15 Sylvia once again. Nice handbrake work there. This is the wet. Putting on angle to keep the car off. So just keeping it 30 centimeters off right here. Right there.
Yeah.
Not very nice. I don't think that's going to be a straight. That's going to be just a bit of a hiccup and a deduction from his angle score. Of course, we do want to see the cars as they flick left and right. You want to see it a big one motion, like a big roundhouse kick. Big one motion and a sudden stop. That's what looks cool in drifting. That's what gets you a high score. You kind of hesitated there. You kind of pulled that punch. Am I mixing my things? Something about kicks and punches? So a 77 for Yokoi on his first run. Not a bad run. If his line was a bit closer to the edge of the track on that first corner, and if that angle during that transition was a bit better, would have been a better score. But 77 is still great.
Look at that view right there. For those of you on live stream,
mud puddles.
You guys are getting treated to some beautiful cinematography right now. That's pretty great.
Are you saying that our videographers aren't the they aren't choosing? Well, I mean, what are they going to shoot?
I know, yeah, they're trying to relay.
You know what they should shoot? Look, like over there, it's like a valley with like I always say it's like a Bob Ross valley. It's like trees and then clouds in the background,
and then
with
mist
more mist, and then it's like layers upon layers.
It's very Jurassic Park-ish.
It is. Next driver, with the Supra, Tamagawa. Now, if you watched the previous rounds of FD, you would have seen this guy at Fuji Speedway absolutely murdering it in this, of course, 2JZ powered Toyota Supra.
That was scary.
Yeah,
that was scary.
Yeah, and a spin.
I think he scared himself right there.
He did. He did. So Tamagawa in the Supra. It's going to be really obvious in the replay. Yeah, he psyched himself out.
Because he was going directly. That's the big issue right there with that transition.
Yeah.
If you throw it in a little too hard right there, you're not going to be able to bring the car back. And that's exactly what happened to Iha, where he got the car to angle and it would not rotate back. Ended up going into the wall.
Yep.
Potentially riding off his car. I don't know. It looked pretty bad. Maybe it's fixable. I am not a mechanic or a body man in any way whatsoever. But it looked pretty aggressive.
It was pretty mashed up.
Yeah,
it looked like someone had stepped on a box of tissues. All right, here we go. Tamagawa, looking good so far. This is a great run.
Yeah, came off a little early there, but overall did a great job through that zone.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can tell that the car stayed at angle a little longer than he expected, and when he did get it to transition, he didn't want to throw the car into the grass, and ended up straightening it up a bit. Tried to rotate again, but it was too late.
And a 0.
Yes,
for
officially
Tamagawa.
a 0.
So we are now into our top 5 drivers in the points ranking. Unfortunately, we would have normally seen Kazuya Taguchi right now in the up garage S15 Sylvia, but after his massive accident yesterday, the car pushing in the rear suspension upper mounts,
and the
roll cage was bent apparently.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to our next driver now. 5th place in the championship right now, believe it or not, Sheng Nian.
He is aggressive.
He's aggressive. Don't do anything here, Sheng. Just Nian, keep it clean, mate. I don't want to see you.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, we're good. Ugh. Okay. I mean, just keep going. Yeah, don't worry about it. There you go. Just keep it at an angle.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. So a score there on the board for Sheng Nian from Singapore. Let's watch the replay here. So, when Nian came in to the FD series a while ago, very raw, unpolished kind of diamond.
He was a little wild.
He was wild. He was the kind of guy who just goes, and I'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
And resulting in a lot of crashes, a lot of missed qualifications, a lot of lost battles. But unlike other worlds of motorsport, for example, motorcycles and things like that, cars are easily replaceable if you damage them a bit. And Sheng, always the kind of guy who, you know, if a car gets damaged, gets it fixed straight away, heads straight back out to the next competition. Doesn't even remember what happened. Just, I'm going to go even harder this time.
Yep. And he's put many a dent in my door up at Ebisu.
Is that
sure.
right?
Oh, yeah. He's, he always was, especially at North Course, there's your score.
69 for Sheng Nian.
Yeah, he was always, I want to go in backwards on North Course.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and whether you're in front of him or behind him and trying to follow him, he was a little unpredictable sometimes, but it always led to some great times up there, whether it was wet or dry. But yeah, I definitely had some rubs on my door, some dents, thanks to Nian, and my own fault as well. But just having a great time. He's always so positive and fun to be around. So I owe him a lot of fun times up there, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Nian currently 5th in the championship, and a 69 in his first run.
Next up, Nian Moik.
Next up,
Did I say that right?
Chur to this guy here, Mad Mike Wadette, the
Not holding anything back.
Red Bull FD quad rotor twin turbo insanity on wheels.
Look at that precision.
Line, Mad Mike tagging the in clip. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that's the first.
And out towards the wall. Nice smooth angle there. Mad Mike, look, that upshift there, causing a lot of problems to a lot of people, but that is going to be a run there for Mad Mike, his first run of the day. This car built by Magic in Kobe, about an hour's drive away from this track, hour and a half away.
So would they be considered locals here almost?
I guess they would be considered locals for this area, yeah. Look at that squirrel around there, this suspension set up quite soft in this car for maximum grip and control. Nice.
That is beautiful right there,
Look
right
at
on the
that.
white line.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Bit of a hiccup there. He actually tagged that inner foam barrier there. That could have been worse than it was.
The naked foam barrier. Usually it has a nice cover on it, but
It
I don't
does.
know where it went.
Yeah.
The foam's going to get heavy when it gets wet, huh?
We have our crew out there putting it back on and completing his run. So Mad Mike, that is his first run. See there our crew setting those foam barriers back up. Luckily this weekend they don't seem too busy having to set the witches' hats back up.
You're right. That has been one positive thing. We haven't had a lot of clipping point cones or clipping zone cones hit. Those yellow cones haven't been touched at all, now that I say that, though. Anyway, that's, like you said, the first time the foam got hit. So other than the wall hit that we had earlier, we haven't had a lot of cleanup to do.
So 7-7 for Mad Mike Wadette from New Zealand.
You can see there was a big deduction there from the style judge. 19 out of 30,
right,
due to some of the movements that the car was making throughout the course.
Yeah, it was, some parts it was very planted, but on other parts it was very wobbly.
There you go.
Okay, next driver now, this is currently 3rd in the championship. And all of these guys are within a stone's throw of each other regarding the points. This is Koichi Yamashita, Team Weld. JZX 100 Mark II. All the way to the edge there. Watch the flick back here. And transition back to outer zone 2. Looking pretty good.
Uh-oh.
Bit of a tag of the wall there. And that's going to be a... Is that going to be a straighten?
That is.
He hit the wall. The back of the car came around. So he did knock off one of the outer zone witches' hats on that wall with his wing.
And he did straighten twice there. He straightened after the hit, and then he straightened coming up the hill as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So looking good for the first part. Koichi Yamashita here, up through the gears. The front of the car bucking as he shifts. So fairly early to angle there. Looking pretty good. Out of zone. There you go. Wheel off the edge of the track. That's not what they want to see. They want to see the wheel just to the edge of the white line, and right here, hit and straighten right there.
Yeah, reinitiates. As he transitions right here, also
Right
straightens
there
up.
too.
Yeah.
0.
Unfortunately, yes.
So it was looking fairly good for Champ Yamashita.
Champ.
Champ is his nickname from the olden days when he used to drive an A86 and would quite often win competitions. Also the boss of Run Free Workshop. Okay, next driver now. So this year's shining star, Shinji Minoa.
Shining star.
I don't know, Shinji has just done so well this year.
You're right.
He had his first win at Fuji Speedway, and this car can sometimes be insanely fast.
Quite a bit off.
That time is not right now. This car running the Potenza tires, usually very good in the wet.
That's really, really close.
Whoa! If that wasn't a hit on the wall, it was very close to it.
Enough that he knocked over the cone. That was impressive.
He did. Knocked over the cone on the wall. So this fair lady, powered by a GTR engine, the VR38. So another sort of one of these dream builds. I call them Forza cars because it's, you know, it's like you do the stupid engine swaps in Forza.
Right.
Like it's one of those sorts of things. You go, I'm going to put a VR38. I'm going to put a quad rotor in a Chevelle. You know, like sort of thing. All right, here we go.
Something that would make the purists a little angry.
Yes.
Was what it sounds like you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
At least this is the same family.
Big angle here. But yeah, very wide there. And as the car running over the ripple strips and the apron on the side of the track, it changes in grip levels. And right there, knocking off the upright on the wing. So Shinji not seemingly too worried by that slight hit on the wall there. I don't think it's going to be that great of a score, though, to be honest.
I gave him a 28 for line. Outside zone 1 is where I dinged him pretty heavily. Yeah, right. 80.
So an 80 there. So outside zone number 1 meaning the running off fairly wide off the edge of the track.
Yeah.
So an 80 there for Shinji Minoa. So this is our last driver in run 1 of qualifying. Andrew Gray, car number 100, JZX 100, Chaser, currently sitting first place in the championship. He's on his way to winning a 2nd championship in a row. See what he can do here this weekend. We saw him in qualifying, made a few mistakes in qualifying today. So Andy, nice run so far. That's the sort of run we want to see, right to the edge of the track there. Transitioning back, keeping it very conservative but clean here. Ooh. Whoa, that's going to be a straight in there for Andrew Gray.
That's a big one.
That was a big one. Wow, that run was looking so good until that point.
That was a big straighten. That was not just a small hiccup. That was
a clean, conservative run until that straighten. Let's see if the judges are going to ding him for that. Get the feeling they will, but until then, let's watch this run. So right here, watch the rear tire and the white line. Right there. Right there.
Beautifully done. Came off a little bit early, but did really well through the majority of that zone.
And the flick back here on the brakes, nice and smooth.
A little off outside zone 2. Outside zone 3, fairly close, but like you said, fairly kind of conservative at the same time.
Yeah. And right here, watch this. Duh. Yeah.
Yeah.
This could be a 0, unfortunately, for Andrew Gray. This is something that I remember now what I was going to say before about Japanese and American judging.
What's that?
The Japanese judges are not as strict with the straightens as they are. Yeah, you could hear it.
Yeah, like really?
You heard that you could probably hear the Japanese commentator
the surprised nature of
really
their
surprised.
comment.
They're not as severe on that.
Okay.
Here as we are over in the United States.
You know what's funny about that comment, and I'm not in any way being disparaging here.
Yeah.
The drivers' meetings that we have in the U.S. sometimes when we're talking overall about the series, the kind of the state of the sport, where we're going with judging, the drivers will say, "Why are you guys so lenient with straightening?"
Right.
They believe that we're too lenient.
Really?
In the U.S. Yeah. So it's interesting to hear you say that. Anyway, we are going to maybe take a little break right now.
That's right. We're about to take a commercial break. So we've just seen the first half of qualifying. We'll be back with the second qualifying runs. After this quick commercial break, stay with us.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's raining heavier now. It's actually getting colder, which is really uncomfortable up here. It's a little bit breezy now as well. So the conditions are actually changing. Although it's still wet, you wouldn't know that they're changing. They are. So I think that's going to change how the drivers are getting through the course, how difficult it is for them. We've seen that some top-ranked drivers here, ones that have previously won the championship here, have had a hard time getting through the course without straightening out.
Zeros for everyone.
Everyone gets a 0. You get a 0.
You get a 0. You get a 0.
Look, we don't like giving out zeros, but we
No.
have to be fair and consistent throughout the event. And despite the rain, you still can't straighten.
Yeah.
Right? I know the announcers here were a little bit surprised with a couple of the zeros that we gave out.
Yeah, we're having a discussion about the whole 0 thing with some of these drivers.
Sounds like we're ready to go already, aren't we?
So, but I really believe that we are being consistent with what's being given a 0 and what's not. Okay, next one now. So we are in our second group of runs, and that's going to be a 0. Speaking of zeros,
Speaking of,
this is going to be a 0 for Lee Jun-hyuk from Korea. In what is a very unusual sight to see in Japan, a Lexus. Sorry.
Here's your mulligan.
What did I want to say?
I think you wanted to say a Hyundai Genesis.
A Hyundai. I want to say a Hyundai Genesis.
Yeah.
A Hyundai Genesis. So yeah, not very common in Japan at all. Sometimes you get people saying, "Oh, do you see many Hyundais on the street?" It's like you never see any.
Any? No.
At all. Like you'll see. I've seen one Hyundai on the street ever.
Really?
And I think it might have been like a consular vehicle. Or
Oh,
something,
really?
Like a something to do with someone from Korea.
So why is that? Korea's so close, and the market for that type of car, you'd think in Japan would be.
Well, Japan already has so many
I
cars. Like, I guess.
But that could be said about so many different countries that still have.
That is true.
You know.
Like, why would you buy a Japanese car in Germany or something like that? Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well,
Well, look at it, the U.S. The U.S. has the big 3.
Oh, there's that
and then
too.
There's still so many different brands.
well,
that have come in.
well.
What?
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I could see the opportunity
There is,
for a
yeah.
company to sell. Does that mean there are no sales outlets here then in for
No,
Hyundai?
no.
Or they're just very rare?
I think I know there's like one somewhere
In
that
Tokyo, and that's
no,
it?
no,
Not
no,
even?
not
No?
even that. No, no.
Okay.
So it is quite rare to see a Hyundai on the streets here.
Not something I've ever given much thought to, but glad you pointed that out.
So next driver now, Kei Takanohashi, his second run, 0 in his first run. He needs a score. If he gets a 0 here, he's out. And it looks like he's he's out to the outer zone 1. He's keeping it going. Flick it back. Now don't straighten up here. And so that is that's going to be a straighten there for sure. So a pair of duck eggs for Kei Takanohashi.
Duck eggs.
Well, they're round and they're white.
No, it's interesting. In North America, they say goose egg.
Oh, goose egg.
Right.
Okay.
Still eggs, still roundish.
I think the word duck sounds better when you say it with an Australian
Duck
accent.
egg.
Yeah, big duck egg.
Duck egg.
So Kei Takanohashi, JZX100 Mark II. Chaser, sorry. It's a nice aggressive entry here.
It was. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, and I noticed you being from another one of the colonies, you say Zed.
I do say Z.
People give me a hard time often when I'm in the U.S. and I say Zed.
What do you call the Dragon Ball series?
See that Dragon Ball Z? I guess
Yeah.
just because that's a name.
That's the name?
Right.
Yeah, so you call it Z.
Yeah. Not that I know anything about that series, but I
Hey-
do know the name.
Hey, Robbie, ドラゴンボールってドラゴンボール Z っていう Hey, ごめん
Don't talk to me about silly things. I'm judging drifting right now.
Next driver now, we have Edmund Chan from Hong Kong. He's out here this weekend.
That's not a bad line at all.
This is much better than his first run. He got a 0 in his first time.
Ah.
Oh no, that's
a big straight right there.
You get very obvious reinitiation there. You could see that after that transition. So Edmund Chan continuing his run, of course. It's going to be a 0, but you know, if you're out on the track, you might as well keep drifting.
That was actually a really good section 1 of the track. I was looking forward to seeing a good run from him. It was a really good line around outside zone 1. He had the tire just barely over the line.
Here we go, up through the gears. Initiation, so nice smooth initiation, turns it in. Looking good, look at that, nice angle there, just a little bit wobbly, but right to the edge. Nice, that's really good there. Yeah. Now transition back, there you go, that's it.
And part right there.
You see they're wobbling back and forth, sort of trying to reinitiate there.
He ripped, so the back bumper came off yesterday, and one whole rear over fender came off with it.
Right.
It was quite a sight to see on the track there.
Where did he do that?
He did that over by, I believe it was by outside zone 3, and the whole bumper, and it's a pretty aggressive over fender for that 4-door, right? And it's like 3 inches or something.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just sitting there together. Still bolted together.
Oh, the bumper and the fender were bolted?
Yeah, all together, just sitting there on the track. Yep.
So 0 for Edmund, that's going to be.
How do you pronounce that? Saori?
Saori.
Saori.
Ishikawa. S13 Sylvia. This is going to be a 0-0. Keep it going. Get the boot in. No, that's going to be a straight.
Yeah.
Might as well keep it going. So 1 of 3 female drivers here this weekend. Unfortunately, 0. So she's not showing any fear of the track, that's for sure. But I'm not implying that she should, but despite the fact it's her first time out here this weekend, it's her first entry into Formula Drift Japan.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with her gender. We've seen some male drivers be scared of the track today because of the weather. She was definitely holding nothing back.
That's it.
At all.
So, despite the fact that 0 in her first run. 2 zeros. So that is Saori Ishikawa out. So she will not make it through to the top 32. It's 2 0-0s in a row. Edmund Chan, Saori Ishikawa.
You can't see it in the picture that they have up there, but our picture on our screen shows him giving the old peace sign. He's, if you look right here, look at that. Right
there. Really? He's like, KOZAMA's like giving the peace sign there. Yeah, you're right.
You just see the tip of his finger. What is he up to?
It either looks like he's holding a hot dog.
Does he have a bit of a car issue right now?
No? Oh, that wasn't a false start? Okay.
I don't really know. He was...
It sounds like it's misfiring.
Yeah, I think he's having a mechanical issue here. It looked like as soon as he left the line, he was having a problem.
Might have maybe popped an intercooler pipe or something. It's not blowing any black smoke, so yeah, initiating there and losing a bit of bumper. May have to get that bit of chunk of whatever it is cleared off the track, but that's going to be 0-0s for KOZAMA. That's not KOZAMA.
MURAKAMI. Yeah, KOZAMA.
So 3 0-0s in a row.
Yeah, so you see the speed that he's driving at this point. Clearly not what he should be doing there. Really threw it in. I don't even know if it was really necessary at that point to try, but I guess he felt like he's out there. Might as well give it the old college try while he's there.
The old college try.
We have another Ferrari coming in. That's in California, I believe.
Where, just over there?
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
the white one. Yeah, the black roof.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a car show / display on here this weekend. So KOZAMA there, make it official as 0. I can see him giving the peace sign.
Yeah, there's the peace sign.
We have a few supercars here this weekend as well. Some classic Japanese steel out on display.
They're really braving the weather this weekend with their classic cars and their exotics.
They're just parked outside in the rain.
Yeah.
All right, next driver now, MITSURO Murakami. his second run. He had a 69 in his first run.
Wow, that's
throwing
really
a huge
right
angle. And he went into the gravel.
Get stuck.
Keep it going.
Keep
Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. There you go. Recovery guys already working really hard this weekend. You can see him keeping it off. There you go. This is good manners from Murakami. Keeping it off the racing line as long as possible so as not to spread gravel and other assorted junk all over the track.
Debris.
Nicely done there from Murakami, keeping it off the track.
And Murakami on his first run had a 69.
That's right.
Yeah. So hopefully that score will get her into the show.
Him. That was the wrong graphic there.
That was the wrong graphic.
That was the next.
Oh, that's Mimoto.
Yeah,
sorry.
Mimoto. So Mitsuru Murakami.
There we go. That's
0.
Mr. Murakami.
From that spin. That's him there.
That is Mimoto.
This is our next driver, Michie Mimoto.
Michie.
S14 Sylvia, Mimoto. Drifting for a very long time now. I've met her quite a few times.
Have you driven with her?
Never driven with her, but she's always been an S14. Okay. And a very, I want to say smooth, but sort of a shallow entry there.
Right. Slow rate to angle.
Slow rate to angle. She had a 76 on her first run. Nicely done there.
Yeah.
Nice transition back. She's going to get the line just right. This is a second good run from Michie and Mimoto.
Good looking run.
That is a very good looking run. Of course, there still is a chance to screw it up, but she's not going to do that over the finish line. Nicely done. This is going to be 2 good scores in a row for Michie and Mimoto. So let's look at this entry. She's going to really suffer in the style points.
She is on the initiation side of things for sure.
Here we go. Yeah. That's like the equivalent of sort of, you know when you go to a bathroom and you kind of knock on the door and there's no answer and you kind of peek in, the door.
Really slowly.
Is there anyone here? Like it looks like that. But despite that, nice and smooth run.
Yep.
What you need to do to get a good score, as demonstrated by Michie Mimoto. The second qualifying run.
So her points were distributed differently from run 1 to run 2 in terms of line, but she ended up with the same score from me. And she got 1 point more, so she's got a 77 on her second run, and that beats the 76 that she had on her first run.
Wow, consistency there from Michie Mimoto. 77 on that run, 76.
Nicely done. So Kitashiba, her teammate, did get a 0 on his first run. So this is do or die for him right now. He needs to get a run down. He needs to get a score to get in the game for tomorrow.
So second run now for Kitashiba. He got a 0, as mentioned, on his first run. Here we go. This is looking much better this time around.
Better.
Wow, one of the best out of zone ones we've seen so far. Bit of a wobble there as well. It's going to be okay. No, a 0. That's going to be a spin.
His car matches the cones.
I'm sure that's the last thing on his mind right now.
Yeah, that's what he was going for, I'm sure. Well, one of the Goodyear Sunoco cars made it in.
Yeah.
We assume. With the 77, I think that's a pretty strong bet that she'll be in the show for tomorrow. Kitashiba will not.
So double zeros there, unfortunately. Because once again, that same spot we see a lot of people screw up. Yeah. That little wobble there may have just screwed up his timing for that entire for that transition.
Yeah.
0 for
because
Kitashiba.
He made it through the inside clip. It was on the next transition that bit him. People typically do the straightening thing over here before that, but he made it through. So our next driver is number 1, TERAMCHI.
Next driver now, KUNIHIKO TERAMCHI. Got a 75 in his first run. Very aggressive in some parts, not that great in others. So let's see if he can get his line. Very early entry there. Let's watch his line, watch his outer zone, right to the edge of the track. A little bit too far over, but it's looking good so far. Transition, nice. Watch the flick back here. Big angle. Just like his first run, big angle coming down into the hairpin. Really, really working the accelerator hard. Transition back here, nice. TERAMCHI, the angle king of qualifying.
Takes a lot of confidence in this kind of wet weather. We know the track's slippery.
Yeah.
To throw the car around like that.
So here comes his second qualifying run replay. What's the entry here? Just a sudden flick of the wheel, pull of the handbrake to bring the car to angle. Slightly wide here, but still okay. Just not over the ripple strip for too long. And right here, here's where TERAMCHI does really well. Right here. Big angle, not on the handbrake for too long. And then here, flicking back. Good line, good angle. Over the finish line. So his first run, a 75. We might be seeing something similar, if not slightly higher.
I gave him a couple more points on his second run.
Okay.
Than I did on the first. So he does have more from me. There you go.
There you go. 80. So a 5-point improvement for TERAMCHI. Once again, consistency. A 75 and an 80 for him. So we're seeing a pattern here so far. People who've been getting zeros in their first run are more likely to get double zeros. Actually, everyone who had a zero on their first run so far has gotten a double zero. And everyone who's had a decent score on their first run has got another decent score. So that's what qualifying is for, thinning it out. We only want the best in the top 32. Here comes the next driver, MANABU FUJINAKA, 20B RX7. Been good so far. A little bit of a hesitation, and that's going to be a straight in there.
Understeer there, yeah.
Big understeer for FUJINAKA after the transition. A common mistake that we've seen. And once again, he hesitated slightly coming under the Yokohama Advan gantry and then made a mistake on the transition to outer zone 2. So once again, this is another common thing. This is the sort of thing that the spotters really need to be aware of and relay to their drivers what the common mistakes are, what everyone else is doing wrong. Not too bad so far. Nice little bit of a wall there, but still solid entry there. Edge of the track. All the way, filling that outer zone. Nice.
Yeah,
now watch this right here. Right there, and the flick back. Screwed it up.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where we're seeing this again and again. So a zero for FUJINAKA, that's unfortunate. Did we bring enough zeros? You know what it's like when, you know those signboards where you don't have enough of one letter, so you have to use like a...
Yeah, you have to use a number.
Like a backwards 3 as an E and things like that. Yeah, do we have enough zeros? You have to start using the O's, the uppercase O's instead. Next driver, Ueo. 0 on his first run.
Ride
GTR,
high.
look at the ride height. Okay, this is looking much better. Of course, when he did his first run, the track conditions were a little bit inconsistent, but it's completely wet right now. This should be a score for Ueo if he keeps going the way it is. Shotgun blast out the exhaust. He transitions back and over the finish line. So that's going to be a score for Katsuhiro Ueo. He's most internet famous for driving the insane little A86 he used to in D1 Grand Prix. But the car he drives now is, I'm going to say, quite literally the antithesis of a slammed high-revving A86. It's a jacked up S15 Silvia with a GTR engine. It's still good. Look at this. Nice, filling the outer zone. Coming up a little bit early, but it's okay. Flicks back here, looking smooth here, and of course the transition back. Fairly slow rate to angle, but you know, with the 0 in his first run, I wouldn't blame him for being slightly hesitant to go all out on this run. But that's going to be a score for Ueo. We're going to see him tomorrow. The way things are going with the amount of double zeros, looks fairly likely. And a 75, that looks like a top 32 score to me. Katsuhiro Ueo.
So the streak of anybody that has 0 in their first run and no score on the second run has been broken.
That is correct.
Yes.
Ueo. 75. Okay, next driver now. He had a 77 in his first run. Kazuya Matsukawa. Twin-turbo V6 powered Toyota A85. Nice fast entry. Wow, he really got through that first section of the course really quick. Okay, out of zone. Here we go. At angle. Holding that angle all the way. A little bit wide, but that's okay. Filling the out of zone. Transition back and flicks it. Out of zone. Bit of a hesitation there. Yeah, you can see he realized he was slowing down. Got on the accelerator really early. Dropping the clutch. Keeping that wheel spin going. He didn't want to straighten up. Over the finish line. So 77 on his first run. I don't know if that's going to be any higher than that, but that will be 2 scores for Matsukawa. Let's watch the replay here. Running huge wheels in this car. Quite often has driveline problems, this particular car. A lot of breakages due to the power and the custom nature of this car. But this weekend, wet conditions should be okay. A little bit slow to angle there. Here in these wet conditions. And of course, yeah, big big wheels, big heavy wheels and a little A85 and big power. He has lost a few battles due to drivetrain issues quite a few times, more than you'd expect. Matsukawa, we'll see what score he has. As you can see here, nice layout there. This is the final part of the course. A 72, so from a 77 to a 72 for Matsukawa, so fairly consistent scoring for him. Probably be seeing him in the top 32 tomorrow. All right, next driver now. First run was an 84, one of the highest we saw in the first runs. Naoto Suenaga from Team Orange. The 2JZ powered S15 Sylvia. Nice flick there, very quick to angle.
It was.
Just a quick left-right jab there. Feeling that out of zone, very good line there.
Oh.
Whoa, okay, there was a bit of a hesitation there. Is that going to be an issue? We're going to find out after this run is completed. Out towards the wall. Look at this angle. Look at the consistency of that angle there. Flicks it back. Once again, big, consistent, clean angle for Naoto Suenaga. But, once again, a mistake coming out of under the Yokohama gantry. Now, there has been talk about giving zeros and not giving zeros. What is the line between a zero and a non-zero during the transition? Of course, you can argue that a car has to be going straight at some point in a transition.
It's the length of time that it remains.
Time, and that's it. So let's watch this again. Ryan, would you like to talk through this?
Yeah, well, seeing him right here on the line, he did a really good job. Got in a little bit late, but rode that white line perfectly. That was more of a hesitation than it was a straightening, I think. It was. It wasn't like he was straight, had to reinitiate. It was simply a hiccup or a hesitation in the transition. So I think he's going to get a score. It'll just be a little bit. He'll get hit on fluidity, and he'll get hit on angle there as well. Yeah. So yeah, because right there is where that those mistakes are being made under that Yokohama gantry. So that shouldn't be a zero. Have to get 100% word on that. But still, great run there for Naoto Suenaga. He had an 84 on his first run, which was in slightly patchy conditions, especially on the entry. It was quite dry. So there you go. There's a great shot with those sort of misty mountains in the background. So 77 for Naoto Suenaga. So that's 2 decent runs for him as well. We'll definitely be seeing him in the top 32 tomorrow. One really cool thing about that Sylvia, the Team Orange Sylvia, it's got this custom exhaust tip on it. Oh. And it's got that kind of like motorcycle exhaust style tip where it's like a big fat can that kind of tapers in, it's rounded and stuff. Okay. Custom made. If you point that out to Igusa, the car's builder, he's really happy with you. Oh,
he's
really?
Like, oh, you noticed? Like, it's good, isn't it? Okay, second run now. This is Nobushige Kumakubo on his second qualifying run. He had 77. So 2JZ Altezza. Watch this transition here. There you go. That's what you want to see. a lot smoother that time. So he's going to pick up points there, out towards the wall. Clean angle as well. Team Orange. Team Orange, very, very powerful team back in the day. Still are. Don't compete with quite as many cars these days as they used to. KUMAKUBO taking on more of a managerial role. Of course, he does run a racetrack. And they also do things like stunt driving, driving displays and things like that.
So he took out a lot of angle right there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, a bit of a wobble. Ended up getting the car out to outside zone 1 very early. Got over a little bit and then left it a little bit early. But didn't do a terrible job through here. See, getting out to the zone. Oops.
And the rest of this part of the track. Flicks it back, and yeah, a little bit of a wobble here and there from KUMAKUBO. Of course, this car, he doesn't normally drive this car. This car belonging to, it belongs to a D1 driver who has taken a couple of seasons off, and it's being, he used to be a satellite driver for Team Orange. It was driven this year by another member of Team Orange in D1 Grand Prix, and today KUMAKUBO is out there in it. So score there 75, so a 77 and a 75 for KUMAKUBO. 2 good scores for him as well. We'll be seeing him tomorrow in the top 32. Okay, we are back, Takano. We are back into a string of zeros and next few drivers. So Takano getting a 0 in the bottom half of the course. Oh, no, it's going to be 2 zeros. That's not. He's going to get it stuck too, for good measure. Great. That's not a good weekend for Takano. Can you back it out? It'd be one saving grace if he could back up right now
and leave the bumper behind.
Yeah, he wouldn't be too happy right now. 2 zeros and getting stuck. Nice looking car. Yeah, it was just wrapped. I believe for the last round at Okayama. I believe it was the first time it came out with this look. And a 0 for Takano. So, yeah, still got a bit of work to go for Takano before he can be competitive, I think, in Formula Drift Japan.
Definitely going to need a minute to get him out of there.
Yeah.
There, you have your view of the misty mountains in the background.
There you go. Yeah. All right, so I think it's going to take a while to get this car out. So we're going to go to a very quick commercial. Takano, I'll go and talk to him later on, give him some words of encouragement. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back very shortly with qualifying, second run qualifying at FDJP. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The year is 2017. The place is Japan. Okayama Prefecture at Okayama International Circuit.
The weather sucks.
It does indeed. We are here at Formula Drift. Round 5, the last round of the year, the last round of the series. The championship will be decided here today. Actually, sorry, tomorrow.
Not today.
I got a bit ahead of myself.
Yeah, you did.
The competition will be decided tomorrow for the 2017 series. We are currently in the second run of qualifying here. And we can see there Takano, who spun off. Double zeros for him, unfortunately, after putting in a lot of work, getting this car built up. So it's unfortunate, but that's drifting. No promises for anyone in drifting.
That front bumper's held on by hopes and dreams right now.
It's, well, he just, it took a big...
just got dragged out backwards out of a gravel pit.
Gravel pit, yeah. It's probably full of...
gravel?
Gravel.
Pretty car, though. I really like that car.
Yeah, it's a cool design.
It is. I'm a sucker for 100s, so...
You are?
Oh, of course.
You want one? Is Yuji Sato back out? Wow.
They fixed his car.
They fixed it? Did Kevin pass it?
I did not expect him to be coming back out, I will be honest with you.
All right, comeback of the weekend. Yuji Sato, if you were with us earlier today for the first run of qualifying, you would have seen Yuji Sato, do his best to punch through concrete with his car.
He was unsuccessful.
He was unsuccessful. The concrete wall stood there and went,
nice try.
It went, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
It was like, it did the Zangief laugh from Street Fighter and brushed off.
You're just full of cultural references, aren't you?
I don't know. You got to. They're all old though. I was talking to this guy the other day, talking about, and he didn't know who Jean-Claude Van Damme was.
Wow, that's kind of sad.
And I was like, what? And the funny thing is, a couple of days later, I saw that Jean-Claude Van Damme's actually got a new. I don't know if it's Netflix or something. He's got a new TV show coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which just sort of proves the fact that he's actually old and. If he's making a comeback, it means he's been out for a long time. Look at this.
So looking at this car from the front, it looked like the front left wheel was straight, but the right one you can actually see the wheel. Does that look like it's?
His massive toe in. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look how toed in this is. Nah, this is not. I'll give it a red hot go. Yeah. Nah, look at that. It's
give it a red hot go.
He's going to spin out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he kept it out of the gravel anyway.
Hey.
You have to look at the positive side, Alexi.
Look at this guy. I mean, I'm going to, hey, look, he's coming past the judging stand. Round of applause.
Round of applause. Bravo. Nice try. Good hustle.
Look at the car.
Hustle.
Look at the car. Yeah, but I think it was fairly obvious from that front shot that they didn't have enough time to run a piece of string in front of those wheels.
Yeah. That's a shame.
It had that Steve Buscemi alignment going on. Look at the toe in. You can see it here. The wheels are like they're both one's aiming this way, one's aiming the other way.
Right.
So obviously with massive toe in, the car isn't going to turn in.
No. And then it overturned in.
For the people who don't know what the hell we're talking about, the front wheels have something called toe, and both wheels don't actually aim straight when you drive in a straight line. Generally, for a drift car, you have slight toe out. So the left wheel is slightly out to the left, and the right is slightly out to the right. And that makes the car a lot more responsive to turning in. But what you could see there was, it was like the car was pigeon-toed. Both of these wheels were slightly facing inwards. So when he went to turn the wheel, that's why nothing happened. So there you go. Have a play in like Gran Turismo and see what happens with toe. It's a really good way to figure out these sorts of things. Next driver now, Mori-san, S15 Sylvia. He had a 0 in his first run.
That was an awkward
We
initiation.
both smacked our tongue at the same time
there was
in
an
disgust.
awkward initiation.
Jinx.
It happens.
0 for Mori-san, unfortunately. It seems he's a much better car builder than he is driver.
Well, wet driver, we can say.
Wet driver. Actually, no, I will correct that. I've driven with him before at, let's see, where was it? Mabara Circuit, I believe it was, and he was murdering it that day. He was in an S14 Sylvia. He was one of the first guys to do something very popular. I believe it was one of the STI Subarus has the factory intercooler water spray.
Okay.
And you can actually buy the intercooler spray reservoir as like a spare part from Subaru. And I think it was Mori who came up with the idea that it was because it was quite big. And you can mount it really low in the trunk of the car, and it had all the hardware and everything all set up. So it was actually a very effective way of setting up a water spray system in a car. It was a factory part. It was like a factory water spray tank.
Right. So you know it's going to work.
Yeah.
It's been tested.
Yep.
And engineered.
And it's just bolted on.
It's
already
got. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty cool. It was one of the first times I saw that.
Next up, Mr. Supermaid.
Oh, yeah. Here he comes. Yoshida. So he had a 60 on his first run. In these conditions, a small, tired car, at least in qualifying, can potentially have a slight advantage. Look at the amount of camber he's running on the front there, too. He's also running those new work-equipped wheels. I forget the model designation. He's got that really old-school street style going with his car.
It's a cool-looking car.
It is very cool. It's got that sparkle paint job in the engine bay and everything.
Low and wide.
Second run now for Mr. Supermaid Yoshida.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge. This is looking pretty good so far for Yoshida. Here we go. Out of zone 1. How's he going to do this? Right to the edge. Hey, this is not too bad so far for Yoshida. A little bit of hesitation there. It might be okay. We'll wait and see what happens. after this run is over and all the way to the edge of the wall there. And a spin, no! For Yoshida, a spin. That's going to be a 0. That's really unfortunate for Yoshida. So this circuit here, as you can see, quite long. It takes a long time for the cars to get through it. Resulting in a lot more opportunities to make mistakes. Sort of wondering what those wheels are called. I can't remember the designation of them. Internet, help me. It's a brand new, like, Kusha style wheel by Work. It looks really cool. Double zeros, unfortunately, for sorry, a 60 and a 0 for Yoshida. So a 60 may just be enough to get through to the bottom of the top 32.
Yeah, we'll have to see by the end of this qualifying session what the lowest number will be that will get you into the show.
Yeah, it seems. Let's see. I mean, we've got quite a few 60s. And the lower end seems to be about the like the low 60s. So we'll see what happens. So Yoshida might just scrape through. We'll see what happens. It's the work-equipped 40, is those wheels.
40.
Yeah, they just came out this year. They're really cool looking. Okay, next driver now, Takashi Hinome. Second run for him. Right to the edge of the track. Okay, this is looking good so far. I know I say that every time, but working that accelerator, keeping it on that edge of stability. All right. So a 0 on his first run. This is looking like it's going to be a score. All he has to do is flick it back here and keep it clean over the finish line.
Did he not do a run, his first run? Because I have my notes say no run at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened that he didn't show up.
He didn't. I got a 0 on his first run.
Yeah, but that's clearly we give him a 0. I don't know. Maybe my notes are wrong. So his initiation right out to the outside edge of the track looked pretty strong there. He did do a good job on outside zone 1.
Big angle.
Big angle. Yeah, just a tire over a little bit, but got in a little bit late. But other than that, pretty clean run.
Yeah, right here too. That's what we want to see. That part of the track under the Yokohama gantry. Nice smooth transition. Huge angle there. You can see the back of his wheel coming around there, but still keeping his speed up too. This part of the track too is also fairly uphill right here.
It is.
So it is quite easy for these cars to lose a lot of speed. We've seen that a few guys before losing a lot of speed going up that hill if they don't have the momentum of their car up nice and high.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the camera view, but it is fairly uphill, like you say.
82 for Takashi Hinome. Great result for his second run. Yeah, very good line. He did do very well on that entry and also out of zone 1. Slightly over, but still great run for him.
Yep.
Right, next run now, Jamaken. Jamaken is his nickname. From Team Wish.
Car looks crooked coming down the straightaway.
Does a little bit. Look at that speed. It's going to be a spin.
Yeah, it's very fast.
Nah, reinitiation. Unfortunately. So he's going to continue his run because why not?
Oh.
And out towards the wall. Just barely missing, scraping his exhaust on the wall there.
Risky biscuit.
That's what he's about. So he's going to revert to his first run score of 72, which is still respectable. Should be enough to get to the top 32. Comes his run. Yeah, I'm just sort of thinking, could he have kept that? It's like, probably not. He would have lost all his speed.
Yeah.
Which, coming down that long downhill section under that part of the track. That is also fairly downhill.
It is.
Which, even though it is downhill, the guys do need to carry a lot of speed because it is very long. Just one thing to point out, even though those are on Yoshida's car, they're 4-stud wheels, but he has actually on purpose put 4-stud wheels on that Turbo Sylvia.
What is going on
in
here?
order to fit classic.
Oh, to get those wheels.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
the naturally
That is
aspirated.
interesting.
Okay. Next one now. Morozumi, yeah, what was he doing there at the start? That was fairly wobbly and weird looking.
Sure.
Get on it. Keep it going. Oh.
Oh, boy.
Yep. That's, yeah.
That's not good.
That's that.
Darn.
Yeah, he was giving that red line a good old
Thrashing.
Good old thrashing. Maybe on it for a bit too long. Let's watch this start. Yeah, really struggling to get grip. Wow. Yeah.
There's a lot of, was that rubber falling?
I don't know what it was, but also something too. His left rear tire. Sorry, his right rear tire. Can't quite see it there. I don't know if it was at full pressure or not.
Oh.
See that right there?
Yeah.
It kind of hooked up. Look at his right rear tire right there. Is something broken? No, I don't know. It just looks weird.
It did look very weird. Yeah, the way his car was moving coming up to the initiation was a little strange.
There may have been some sort of mechanical failure in his car.
Because typically you see them swing as the wheels are spinning.
Yeah.
But that was such a quick
Yeah.
kind of back and forth. Very odd.
It may have been some sort of mechanical failure after the start line for Morozumi. Of course, we've got to remember these guys. They're essentially doing a drag racing start with these cars. So it's it's a drag. It's about an 1/8 mile drag race into a corner. So there is a lot of stress even at the start. So it's going to be a 0 for Morozumi. Okay, next driver now.
Mrs. Minowa.
Miss Minowa, hashtag relationship goals. We have Masayo Minowa doing a second run. So 0 and I should stop saying this because I'm jinxing him. Oh no! And a spin.
You're not allowed to say that anymore.
I'm not allowed to say that now. Okay, I'm banned from saying that.
Yes. She's going to come up here and punch you after.
So let's see the ooh, yeah.
It's kind of hard to pick back up after you've lost all your momentum and flow, right? It's just sometimes you're just better off just driving off the track after that.
Yeah. So let's watch the replay. It's always worth watching the replay anyway, just to see where people make mistakes. So yeah, she stayed on the handbrake just way too long. Of course, I think she was, of course, worried that if she let off the handbrake there, she'd straighten up.
Is she running some Shinji front wheels there, it looks like? Kind of looks like, huh? Shinji's front wheels. Looks like she's running. Typically she has
I see what you're saying.
Pink wheels, but she's running Shinji's Potenza.
I could be, yeah.
Red Potenza wheels.
That's right, yeah. It could be a set from Shinji's car. Of course,
I noticed he had a lot of different offsets over there, and sizes for that matter.
Yeah. They have they do. Sometimes you see that that fair lady come out and with like real sunken offset on the back.
Yeah. And he's running 19s for the first time on that car.
They're not
on the rear.
Yeah. I did notice the front and rear tires on Shinji's car were different sizes.
Right. So he has some sets of 18s mounted, and he has the 19s as well. And he said this is the first time. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Not the greatest time to debut a new setup in this conditions.
He did try them yesterday for the first time. So
I
don't know. I didn't get the feedback on if that was good or not, but interesting to see. They're a pretty badass tire too.
Yeah. Those Bridgestone Potenzas.
Yeah.
Okay, next driver now. Hayashi. Nice entry there, nice and smooth. Here we go. This is looking good so far. Just slight correction to the front wheels.
Ooh.
Okay, big understeer there, but he kept it sliding. That should be okay.
That was pretty straight.
Another hesitation there.
Yeah.
Oh, he is treading a fine line here, but getting disqualified for straightening up. And over the finish line for Hayashi. All right, now, replay. This is probably one of the most important replays we've watched so far. Let's watch this. Hayashi in the Toyota 86. So up through the gears. Nice. Look how smooth that initiation.
It was a
nice
initiation.
Yeah,
I agree.
Perfect for these conditions. Now, right here,
Right here.
understeer, but you could argue the car was still at angle. It was just understeering. Right there, too.
Yeah.
Another hesitation, like a wobble. I don't know. This is why I'm not a judge.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd probably be okay with it. I'm just going to be quiet for a second because Ryan Lantane is talking to the other judges. And he still has his headset on, so I can't talk too loud. If I talk too loud, it'll be irritating to him. You may be able to hear him slightly talking through the microphone. So, of course, the judges, they really need to make a decision here. It's like, this is a hard decision. We have seen quite a few people so far disqualified for similar driving. But on the other hand, we have seen, are you back? We have seen other people get through who've done similar sort of driving. So where is the line? I think it's fairly obvious where that line is between straightening and non-straightening. We'll see if my take on this is right or not.
What is your take on it? I wasn't listening.
Well, I was talking. You couldn't hear me?
No, while I was concentrating with these two.
Oh, it worked.
These two monkeys over here.
I was talking.
I'm the third monkey.
I was talking to the people very quietly at home.
Very
so
quietly.
So
oh, you were.
You weren't. I wasn't irritating you. I don't think he got disqualified.
You're right.
Hey. There you go. Why?
The car never really settled straight. It kind of had a quick lack of angle, but it's almost like I said earlier, there has to be that reinitiation to really make it clearly a zero.
So there you go, everyone at home watching. Hopefully you're judging along with us and letting us, just give your opinion, if you're there with mates, if you're there, having a little viewing party, or if you're all in the garage or something working on your cars and you've got the laptop going in the background, let it be known what you think. Like, vocalize what you think, not just like, oh, that sucked, he should have won. Like, why did you think someone won or lost? And I really believe that allows you to enjoy watching drift competitions a lot more. So the score there, 63 for Hayashi. So he had a 0 in his first run. Nail-biting moments where he could have potentially gotten another 0. I got to stop saying that. Where he could
received.
He could have potentially received another 0. I got called out for saying...
I can thesaurus for you over here.
No, I don't want to go that far. I got called out for saying literally too much recently.
Oh, that's the worst.
I know.
That's one of my
It's
pet
literally
peeves.
the worst.
It's literally the worst thing ever.
Next right now, Junior Ishikawa.
That's big.
Whoa! Look at this.
Look at him maintaining it.
Look at that. Has he changed his setup between run one and 2?
I don't know.
It might have done it. This is looking nice and solid. Right, here we go. Into the zone. Wow, he's on it today.
That is an aggressive run.
Keep it going, keep it going. Over the finish line. There you go. You know what's funny?
What's funny?
For Hayashi and Ishikawa, I didn't say he had a 0 in his first run.
Ah, see?
And they both, ooh.
Ooh.
So they're both going to get scores. That's pretty cool.
Well, I'm
so
glad you're sticking by. You're not saying that anymore.
Well, it's superstitions and all this stuff. I don't know. But so look at that angle there from Ishikawa. That's a big gutsy entry there. So not all the way out to the outer zone 1, but still pretty good. And switches back here quite late. You can see him dab at the brakes.
Dab, dab, dab.
Dab. Not that dab. Not that kind of dabbing. And over the finish line. So great score there, 78 for Ishikawa. So coming off a 0 to a 78, that's a big spread in points.
Yeah, I would say so. That's a pretty big jump. Good for him. Making it happen. We're really happy with that initiation that he did. That was pretty good.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Next run now. This is Hiroshima in the D-Friends S15 Sylvia. Very late line. This is not going to be good. Yeah, he's really had to adjust his line and angle there. He's keeping it. This will be a score, but it's not going to. Whoa! And really, barely missing that. Wow, he's going all the way to the edge of the track, and I can see what he's trying to do. He's just not pulling it off.
Yeah.
So with a score of 74 in his first run, it would, you know, he's figures he's got something on the board. He's going to just try and go a bit crazier on his second run.
Mission accomplished.
And it was crazy. I don't think it's going to be a good score, but it gave a few little clenchy moments there. And initiating. Yeah, that line was just a bit too late there. Sort of apexed a bit too early. What? He did actually hit that. Yeah, we've got the course workers running back. I was sort of hoping that he went too wide the first and second part of the course. Hit the inner clip. I was thinking, well, is he going to hit the wall now? But luckily kept it off there. Still pretty over the finish line. With a previous score of 74, he should be making it through to the top 32. We'll see what his second run. I don't think it's going to be any better than a 74.
$61.
61
right?
And a score of 61 for Hiroshima.
Quite a bit less than his first one at 74, so big drop. Next up is Mr. KAZAMA.
Shacho KAZAMA. Shacho meaning boss.
Boss KAZAMA.
Boss of KAZAMA Auto. Is out here this weekend. In his S15 Sylvia, 2JZ powered, very wide line.
Big
That's
drop.
going to be a big understeer there too, and a spin.
That was fascinating. His front wheels were straight as he was spinning. He didn't even turn into that. If
Really?
you watch the replay.
Yes, I thought it looked a bit weird.
Yeah.
So, double zeros for KAZAMA there. Let's watch this replay. Yeah, it was kind of a weird spin.
It was. It's like he forgot to counter steer. So take a look at the front wheels.
So initiates here, runs it off.
Here they're at angle, but then they go the other way.
I think he was...
Like, was he trying to do a 360? It's like, I'm going to try to throw it. And
I don't think he was trying to do a 360. I think he was just trying to do that thing where, like, if you throw in too hard and you think you're going to back into a wall, you just steer into the corner and get off the gas, and the natural grip will make the car want to roll forward instead. But obviously, it being wet, it didn't do anything.
right.
No, that's a fairly standard. That's especially a standard technique on Minami, on the Minami course at Ebisu Circuit. When if you think you're going to back it into the wall, you steer into the corner.
Right. But he didn't. It seemed like he could have caught that as opposed to.
I see what you're saying.
Like give up kind of thing.
Well,
he didn't give up. He straightened the wheel, but.
Second run now for Fukada. He had an 83 on his first run. Look at this.
That's deep.
Woo, he's running deep there. Flicks it back. He's really revving this engine out, but he's revving this 2J. Whoa! Oh no, he's going to spin. He was revving the engine right up, but still just in the top end of the meaty part of the engine, of the engine's power band. He looked nice and settled. Ah, that's a shame there for Fukada.
He does have an 83, though.
He has an 83 on his first run.
So that's a pretty comfortable score. I guess if it came down to, if I stay on the throttle, am I going to hit this wall? Or should I try to salvage my car?
Yeah.
But it was looking good. Outside zone 1 was, he got right at the beginning of the zone. He was right on that white line, dipped in a little bit deeper than what we'd like to see. Came by inside clip 1.
Right there, that transition was very, it was surging forward too.
There wasn't a lot of room there between the back of his car and the wall.
No.
Who do we have next?
So 0 for Fukada. So he's currently equal third. Well, equal second, I guess I should say.
Second, yeah.
Yeah, equal second. We have a highest score so far as Naoto SUENAGA with an 84.
Okay.
And Fukada, Ichiyanagi also have 83s. So we have 2 people in second place so far. Our next driver now, Tasaka. Had a bit of a collision with the wall in his first run. It's still got a score, 76. Stab of the brakes there. Swings the car around. It's looking pretty good. Wow, look at the angle here. Nope, and it's gone into the kitty litter. That's going to be a 0 for Tasaka, unfortunately, in his second run. Did you say kitty litter in the state? Yeah, okay.
Yep. Spent some time in there myself.
Yeah. There was who was it? There was an Australian commentator who used to say, "Go digging for potatoes."
Oh, that's
when you plow off into the
digging for potatoes.
Yeah, when you plow off into the gravel trap. Jason O'Halloran, I think his name was. Back in the days of Drift Australia, the competition we had over there. It was televised and everything. It was great.
Really?
Yeah, it was on TV. It was on SBS, on Speed Week. All right. Next driver now from, speaking of Australia, from Melbourne, representing Victoria, the state of Victoria, Krista Jaeger, Thrash Kings. It's a Thrash Kings, a collective of drift drivers.
When I first looked at it, I thought it said Trash King.
Well, let me know what you think after Chris's run, whether it's trash or not. Here we go. Nice.
Yeah.
Transition. Keep it going. Flick it in. Chris going for a very, very smooth approach here. Oh, nice little correction there, keeping it off the wall. Yep. Great sense. Keep it going. Keep it going, Chris. Keep it going. Yes. Whoa.
Whoa.
About to give me a heart attack there, Chris, with that little throw there.
That's the most excited I've heard you all day.
Oh, but if he'd have gotten a zero, if he'd have got it.
Try it again. Start.
If he received a zero, yeah. But I'm trying to say he did it to himself.
So had he earned a zero, maybe?
No,
No.
If he did himself a zero, how about that? I don't know. It sounds a bit more slang.
Yeah.
I would have just fallen over. That would have been a double zero for Chris. Would have been the icing on the cake. But watch this right here. He thinks he's about to hit the wall and sort of adjust there. That was a great sense of where the car is. Right here too. What do you call that? I can't remember the word now. 72. So
72.
Krista Jaeger. Good score coming off a zero.
So he's not a Trash King. He's a Thrash King.
He is a Thrash King indeed.
He is.
There you go. Ooh.
Another JZX.
What's it called when you have a good sense of distance from things and where you are? I can't remember the word now. They use it for people who are like it's like if you can throw a punch and you know it's going to connect, like because of how far away you are. Like, you know, the back of the car is a long way away from the driver.
It is, yeah, especially in that car.
Especially in that car. And if you know that you need to wind
Spatial
off.
awareness?
Spatial awareness, thank you. Let's see what sort of spatial awareness Ikuo Saito has on his second qualifying run. So flicks it back here, chuffing his way down the straight to that 2JZ. Nice angle, smooth run for Saito. And you see right here, slowing down. This is uphill right here. It's a fairly steep uphill.
Yep. You can tell the car's struggling to have traction to get up the hill.
Yeah.
Especially when they go to that rumble strip.
And we just saw it then with Chris. People throw it in, and the angle all of a sudden slows the car down because even though it's wet, you throw it in up a hill, the near side of the car just digs in and slows down. So we're going to have a score there for Ikuo Saito, a zero on his first run.
It's getting loud behind us.
Are they actually going to do the bike stunts?
It sounds like they are.
Wow, they're keen. So Ikuo Saito. So
Score is in.
Score is in, so it's looking pretty good. Now look at this right here. Now, this is what we're just talking about. The flick back right here gets uphill about here. And it flicks, and the car all of a sudden loses momentum.
Right.
So people really need to throw in with a lot more speed than they think right there. Oh, you can hear that's so score there 79 for Ikuo Saito, coming off a zero. That's the biggest recovery we've seen so far.
That is a big one.
So he'll be making it through.
Next up, another Saito.
Another Saito, Shinichiro Saito. Can you hear Wada Police doing his bike commentary out there?
Yeah, he's pretty loud.
Yeah,
he has a lot of stamina.
He does.
He goes on and on
screaming for like 5 minutes.
an hour, right?
Oh,
that he does.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Next run out, Shinichiro Saito, Car Guy Racing in the 180SX. Here we go. This is looking much better than his first run. There you go. Ooh, you're careful. His throttle control there. Ah! Don't. It's going to. These mistakes are going to cascade. No, it looks like he's recovered.
Yeah.
He's back into it. Here we go. Great recovery there for Saito. Transition back here. Don't slow down. There you go. Beautiful.
That was pretty smooth.
Wow, that was a lot of great recoveries there from Saito. Getting knocked out of his groove and jumping back in.
He was off quite a bit in outside zone 1.
He was. He's not going to get a good score for this, but it will be a score. So much better entry. Coming off a 0 in his first run. Yeah, bit of a wobble there. That could have, yeah, these two mistakes right there could have cascaded in and
that could have ruined it for him, for sure.
That could have ruined it. We've seen it happen before in
Yeah.
previous runs of previous drivers, but yeah, recovering, bit of a wobble there.
Right. The car didn't look settled through a lot of the track. Outside zone 1, he was pretty planted. The car looked pretty good, but after that, it started to fall apart a little bit for him, and he didn't really look settled throughout, and it's kind of reflected in the score here.
So a fairly average score there of 67, sort of middle of the road there. So that might be enough to get him through. All right, next driver now. Speaking of 67, 67 on his first run. James Tang, look at that. He's always got the best sunglasses, doesn't he?
He does.
James
He's
always
a pretty stylish fellow.
He does, yeah. Here we go, the BMW 130i.
That's a big initiation right there, or a big beginning to.
Big long handbrake slide, but it looks okay. Nice angle there, coming into the outer zone. Yes, on that 2J limiter, flicks it back. A lot of angle there. He hasn't got much space to play with here. He needs to get the rear of the car back around. He's got to get the car around.
Look at him go.
Whoa! James Tang!
Good for James. James is really throwing it down right now.
Yeah. Oh, don't spin! Don't spin! James Tang bringing the excitement here.
Yeah, that was good.
At Okayama. If that was a JZX100, he would have mashed the rear end.
Yes.
Speaking of spatial awareness,
oh yeah, he knew
let's watch this. This is what I thought the first time I saw this this BMW coupe. I thought this is a great chassis to drive because you can get so close to walls and nothing will happen. Look at this. It's a great line there, big angle.
Came off a little bit early.
Right here,
really strong.
That could have been a mistake there, but no, he brought it back. Didn't have enough time to bring it back around. He's still getting angle right here and right here. Just along the wall.
You think there's a little white on the wall now, maybe?
Well, I don't know. Maybe along the top, that ducktail wing. Right there to another moment there. James Tang, a 67 on his first run. 75 for James Tang. Great score.
75.
So, gangster sunglasses, gangster wall runs from James Tang.
Horino.
So next driver now, Jin Horino. Hopefully he can put down a good run this time. He's always a very smooth driver. You'd think that sort of style would apply to driving in the wet. See what he does. All right, running nice and wide there. A bit too wide. Yeah, a bit early in, a bit early off that zone.
Kind of hurt his inside clip 1.
Yeah, this is a very conservative run here. Look, losing a lot of speed there.
A lot of handbrake pulls. You can tell he's not super confident.
This is the sort of run that you'd... All right, so, yeah, round of applause from the judges. Meaning coming off a 0 in his first run, Jin
not
Horino.
from the judges, from the announcers.
No, they clapped.
These two guys clapped?
You clapped, didn't you, just then?
Oh, I thought it was the...
Oh, you were clapping because they were, are you making fun? Are you clapping because they were clapping? Ah. So you're doing what? Oh, that's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like, oh, good, you got a score. Congratulations.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want you don't want anybody to like go away the 0-0.
No, you're right.
What happens when they go home, right? And you know they go back to work or they go back to the workshop or whatever, and their mates are there like not making eye contact with them because they got a 0-0. Like, it's embarrassing. A 0-0. So yeah, hey, I got a score. Like
Right.
Like a 0-0 is the worst. You know, it's like, well, why even bother? So Jin Haruno, 74, straight to 74. Great result there. But I mean, a bit of an embarrassing run, really. Not, but hey, look, hey.
Be nice.
He did what he had to do. He's going to get through top 32.
Yeah, that's it.
Bish bosh bash.
Ichiyanagi with his interesting art on the side of his car.
Yeah, the big flaming something or other.
Something or other.
I'm going to ask him what it's meant to be, actually.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
I've never actually figured that out. Ichinagi entering here, the 1-via. Big angle. Yes. Wow, keeping that. Look at that angle. Holding that angle. Good line, too.
Yeah. Ooh, not so good there.
Not so good there. A long way off that outer zone.
Yeah.
Not too bad there. Through the hairpin. Consistently good angle from Ichinagi everywhere too. He's really look how well he set this car up. Great suspension setup on this car. He looks like he really knows how to use it too. Just losing all his speed over that ripple strip there.
That's something we haven't seen a lot of today is confidence with the angle, throwing the car to big angle and maintaining it throughout the whole corner, right? You see either a slow rotation or that kind of bobbled in the transition where they don't fully rotate.
Yeah.
But this was nice.
Yes, like Ichinagi and TERAMCHI in the burnt orange S15 earlier today. I think the two guys we've seen throwing down the craziest angle. Right there too. Look at that. Yeah, Ichinagi's got the sort of angle you'd like to see a lot of smoke coming out behind us. They're actually doing bike stunts.
They are doing bike stunts.
Jeez.
Hope they dried the ramp off.
Yeah. Oh, they probably had it covered up with the tarp. 72 for Ichinagi. So his first run, an 83. So he's still currently equal second. Our next driver now, Wataru Masuyama. In his S15 Sylvia. A good run, 75 on his first run. Let's see what he can do on his second one. Here we go, big angle.
Maintaining pace though.
He's holding it too.
Yeah.
Outer zone.
Wow. That was
filling the outer zone. Excellent. Switches back here. Effortless transition. He's getting it to angle nice and early. Nice and early on the angle there. He has plenty of time to set the car up for the wall. Look how early he's doing everything. Complete confidence. Missing that outer zone there, though. Oh, this could have been a really, really good run. This could have been at least an 80 if he hadn't have made those few mistakes here and there. Let's watch the replay. So Wataru Masuyama. 2JZ once again, S15.
So I gave him 1 point less on line than I did for his first run.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like the way he got into this zone. Look at the angle he's holding through here. The tire just goes barely over the line, filled the entire zone. We haven't seen anybody do that well, I don't think, yet.
Yeah.
Inside clip, not too bad. A little bit off outside zone 2. Outside zone 3 could have been a little bit closer, but considering the weather and how dangerous that wall's been today, I don't think he did a bad job there. A little bit off on inside clip 2, though. You can see that he was off that a little bit.
Yeah.
But maintain his momentum through that. That's one thing, like you've been saying. It's hard to keep your momentum through that area, but he did a good job.
There you go. I was going to say it's at least an 80. There you go, 81 for
nice
Masuyama.
Score.
Great result.
Yep.
Masuyama, I've mentioned it before. He was last year's Gakudori competition winner.
Gakudori.
Gakudori. Gaku means school. Dori means drift.
School drift.
Basically, a competition that's only open to people in university or technical college education. And you would not believe the amount of entries that show up. People say that young people don't do drifting anymore. They do. Second run now for Miyoshi.
Hey, that's another nice line for
in the R34. Great start to his run. Transitioning back.
Oof.
The transition a little bit late there.
Yeah.
Not setting himself up very well.
And
He's got to keep it going.
Zone.
Missing that outer zone in front of the judging stand. He's got a last chance here. Fairly close. Line a little bit off there, but not too bad. 0 on his first run. And you know what? Since I stopped mentioning the 0 in the first run, everyone's gotten a score.
Doing well.
Gotten a score. Everybody's received a score. So Miyoshi on his second qualifying run here. The Uras body kit on that skyline. Nice. So at angle into that outer zone.
Did a good job there too, right? He filled that zone really well.
He did.
Off that clip, and he was way off this outside zone here. You're supposed to have your tire on that line, so he was quite a bit off in that area. That wasn't too bad. He got close, especially near the end of that zone. And as he transitioned here, he managed to do an okay job maintaining momentum. Fairly close to that inside clip, about a 4 out of 5, and then finished off wide.
So better than a 0. We have a 68 for Miyoshi now. Whether that will be enough to get him through to the top 32, not sure. Maybe. We'll see.
Seimi Tanaka.
Next driver now. Seimi Tanaka. S15 Sylvia. His first run of 59. What you'd normally expect a lot more from Seimi Tanaka.
Agreed.
Already angle.
Big
Max lock.
Yeah.
No, this is not going to be
very
very
slow,
good.
Though, very slow.
Losing almost all momentum coming into that corner once again. Not on his game today, it seems.
No.
Seimi Tanaka.
Whoa.
Remember, this is his second qualifying run, and
No
so that's going to be a 0, unfortunately, for Seimi Tanaka.
Tried a little too hard to get it out there, didn't he?
He did. Trying to salvage that run as best he could. Unfortunately, a 0 there for Seimi Tanaka. So all he has is a 59 to try and get him through to the top 32. I don't think it's going to happen.
That is unlike Semi for sure.
This is very unusual for Seimi Tanaka. He usually does a lot better than this.
Yeah, it's not like him at all. You can see he was really trying to work. He got off his game on outside zone 1. He lost momentum.
Yeah.
He lost his flow. You know, he was off offline.
It looked slow on the video, but it was really slow in real life.
Yeah, it was very slow.
And a 0 there for Seimi Tanaka. So more color to the wall. Unfortunately,
it's a colorful wall.
Blue now. Okay, next driver now. It's Kuniaki Takahashi, the Mark X Gs. That is actually a factory body kit on that car. The that front end. Oof. Okay, looking pretty good so far. Kuniaki to the outer zone. There you go, filling that outer zone. Good job on that outer zone. The flick back here, easy, smooth. Look how fast he is. Whoa, a bit of a hesitation there, sort of realizing, oh, I'm going a bit too fast here. Flicks it back. Nice angle going up over the finish line. So his first run, Takahashi, an 82 on his first run.
And it is worth noting that he was not here yesterday, so all he did was practice in the wet today for about an hour and 5 minutes with 50 some odd cars. So he didn't get a lot of practice laps.
I suppose he has driven this Mark X chassis for many years now. So he'd be quite, I believe he won a championship. I don't know if it was this exact chassis or not, but in this type of car. Actually, yes, he has. The stickers are on the window. So he's won a D1 Grand Prix championship with this exact car.
Okay.
And has, of course, developed it a bit since then.
Right.
So he'd be very familiar with how this car works. And an easy 75 for Kuni. So he'll be going off his score of 82 on his foot. There you go. There's the shot you want to see.
That's it.
Thank you, cameraman.
Yeah, his pants are wet.
I was going to say,
halfway up to his knees.
Is that his pants being wet? It is, isn't it?
It is.
It's what's that called? Vascular. No, what's it called when water flows up?
Yeah, it soaks upward through the material, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been out in the rain all day. He doesn't even have an umbrella or a jacket or anything. He's a trooper. It's not raining now, but it was earlier.
As start line goes, a hardcore
yeah.
at FD.
There's Big Kev.
Yoshinori Shinozaki looking unimpressed. Shinozaki on his second qualifying run.
Nachi initiation.
Yeah, wobble.
Yeah.
Goes the JZX. All right, see what he can do in this outer zone.
Deep.
Very deep, but filling it. Transition. Will this throw him off? He's doing as best a job as he can. His spin. Double zeros for Shinozaki. We see this quite a lot with Shinozaki sort of either doing quite well or just completely horrible. Yeah. It's unfortunate for him.
Not ideal. Yeah, you can see on his initiation, he's really not kind of optimizing his initiation. You can see not only is it slow to angle, but it's notchy as well. So he's not letting the car rotate. He's kind of controlling it and letting it go little by little. Outside zone 1, he was too deep in. As we were saying earlier, that zone, you're supposed to be on the white line, but he was way over the rumble strip. And right here, you can see that hesitation. Got out wide to the wall, but then as he got back on throttle, just over-rotated on him.
So 0 there. Shinozaki, 100% privateer entry. Second season running this car. Sort of, I thought that he may have gone for a bigger build, but still campaigning the same car. Maybe he doesn't have quite the amount of cash he needs to go more hardcore than he does, but still, always out there, always putting in 120%. Okay, next driver now, Kanta Yanagida. You can see how young he is in the picture there. Look.
Yes, he is.
That's his high school photo there. Bit of a crash on his first run. Here we go. Nice. Okay, good. Filling the outer zone. Transition under the bridge. Flicks it back. Fairly slow to angle. He's setting himself up. Oof. Whoa, just barely missing the wall there. Bit of a wobble after that.
Yeah, you could tell he wasn't sure if he was going to make it through that one.
Yeah. But, a spin after the finish line. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Okay, that's okay. So no problem there for Kanta.
Don't love it, but it's he was over the line.
We'll turn that. We'll look the other way.
Yeah.
0 in his first run after colliding with the wall at the hairpin and spinning around. So this will be a score for Yanaguida. Look how hard. Look at these white gloves. They're working the steering wheel. He's going from 9 to 3, 9 to 3.
Can you hear what's going on behind us?
I can hear.
There's a lot going on.
Wada Police is getting the crowd hyped up for the bike stunt guys. When the real action is out here, you can see there also, once again, Kanta really working that steering wheel. This is another thing, if you want to be cool in Japan, you wear, you don't wear black gloves, you wear brightly colored racing gloves.
Is that kind of like, watch my hands? Look how few inputs.
Yeah, that's it. Look how smooth I am on the steering wheel.
These white gloves are going to show through the dark windshield, whereas the black ones would be hiding all the errors.
That's why Team Orange wears fluorescent orange gloves when they drive.
Interesting.
75 for Yanaguida. So that's a good score. Getting a score on the board. Did it just get dark all of a sudden?
It kind of felt like it did.
Wow, it's really dark here.
Yeah.
So
one positive thing is that I'm on my last page of drivers right now for qualifying.
We are. Yeah, we're getting towards the pointy end of the field. Next driver now, Daichi Oshiro, all the way from Okinawa.
Pretty smooth initiation. Smooth initiation.
Very nice so far. Filling the outer zone. A little bit shallow in the angle.
Yeah.
Okay, transition. Flicks it back. Very slow to angle, but it's okay. Out towards the wall. Losing a lot of speed here. He's got to build up a bit of speed. Oh, is that going to be a deduction there for that little wobble and straighten?
Yeah, that was
that too much?
Pretty big straighten.
It may be okay. Let's have a look at the replay. Of course, the judges are going to have to make a decision. I think they may have already done that.
Yeah. So looking at the run, initiation wasn't bad. Rate to angle was pretty good. Coming around outside zone 1. He started off really well, right on the white line. Got off of it a little bit early, right around the mid part of that zone. Very low angle there. Very low angle by outside zone 2 initially. Coming out to outside zone 3, played it a little bit safe there. You could tell he wasn't totally confident getting out.
Here we go.
Wide totally. Totally straight there, and then kind of does a little bobble and reinitiates. So that is unfortunately going to be a 0 for Mr. Oshiro.
It is a 0.
He has a 65 to fall back on.
So it was quite obvious there watching the replay.
Yeah, you can hear the announcers on the other end over there. Maybe not.
I think it was very obvious on the replay there, though.
Yeah.
You could see.
Yeah, you can see the car settle, right?
The car settled, and the wheels turned the opposite way to try and flick the car in.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I mean, if nothing else, the judges are being very consistent. Well, you're a judge, but you are being consistent today, I feel, in handing out these penalties.
I mean, typically we're all over the map, but today
well,
we're doing
depends on who you ask.
You're right. You are absolutely right. That was a nice initiation right there.
Izuka bringing the fire here.
Really a lot of
bit
angle.
Too much fire.
Yeah. Got burned.
Flew too close to the sun.
He did.
Izuka. That's a 0 for him. Although his first score is a 73.
He's very wise driving through that area.
Yeah. Keep
0.
it clean. You got a 73. You're going to be in the top 32. So let's watch this run again for Izuka.
It looked good, but he just went a little bit too far and wasn't able to maintain that angle. The car just over-rotated.
I just figured something out.
What did you figure out?
Okay. His team is Helios, right?
Helios?
Yeah.
Flew too close to the sun?
Well, I was going to make that joke, but I did, but I realized something.
What's that?
Kazuya's old street drifting team was called Team Himawari, and Himawari means sunflower.
Oh.
And Helios is the Latin name for sunflower.
Okay.
Because it faces the sun. Yeah,
right.
sunflower.
Sunflower.
Helium.
So it's
a sun.
The sun-facing flower.
Yeah. So that's his legit name is Helios.
Okay.
Compared to his street drifting team called Team Himawari, which means sunflower.
Just full of information.
I are smart.
Lexi, you're so deep with all of your knowledge.
Well, Lexi reckons he knows everything.
Well, the translation does help a lot.
Next run now, Yamamoto. Dorito, spin.
No, why did you do that?
Keep going.
Why
Keep
did
going.
you do that?
Keep it going. Keep it going. There you go. No. What? Just stop. He could have kept it going.
Oh boy.
Actually, come to think of it, there's no way. I mean, he wouldn't. There's nowhere to go. Like,
it's just he didn't even try to turn. Like, once the car straightened,
but
he just went straight in.
But you know what? Usually, like a lot of racetracks. Let's watch this again.
It's so easy to critique at this point. But he could have, if he kept the rotation going, he could have driven right off.
You know what? But I've got to admit, I've done this same thing where, because back in Australia, we had a racetrack called Oran Park, and it doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. And after the first corner, where people get bogged, there was a bit of grass, and then there was the gravel, and then past the gravel, in front of the barrier, there was another car width length of grass. So what you do is, if you went fairly deep into the gravel, you just keep in it, and you drive onto the grass, and then drive around and off the track. And I got used to doing this because it was better than
go off a lot, huh?
Yeah, well, it was better than stopping, because at the entry there was only like 120 kilometers. It wasn't that fast an entry.
Okay.
So I got used to this, and then we did another track day at another part of the track at this same venue, and at that part of the track, the gravel went all the way to the wall. Oh. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep going. And I just drove all the way in. And when the recovery guy came, he just gave me this look like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm sorry.
I understand.
And as you can see here at Okayama, it doesn't end. It doesn't end. It's just gravel to the barrier.
It ends at the wall, I guess.
Yeah, it ends at the foam blocks at the end of the straight. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least he stopped on a fairly unmolested. No,
he's making it as difficult as possible right now.
Wheels other way.
To really dig the front end in. I do like the white wheels, though. He's got his emergency, the four-ways on right now, because you don't want anybody to crash into him or anything. He's got to let people know that he's having an issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, at least he stopped on a bit more hard-packed part of the track, so the gravel, so you get pulled out.
And he didn't dig himself in either. Definitely could have tried to get back on throttle and bury himself, but he did pretty well.
Good job.
Good job.
Gold star.
Take him onto the grass. Sure that gravel stays where it's supposed to. So you can see down the straightaway to initiation, from initiation to the start line, it is
a long way.
It is a long run-up.
Yeah, you're well into top gear.
Yeah.
Especially the guys who are running like the 4 speeds.
I think Kevin was saying the run-up from start line to beginning of outside zone 1 here at this track was longer than the entire FIA track. The entire FIA track. I'm talking about from start line through the whole course all the way back to the finish line.
Right, right.
Just to the beginning of outside zone 1 here is longer.
So anyway, I don't think we're going to go to a commercial break, but
people have to listen to us a little bit more then, unfortunately.
We are running. We have so many cars that we are running quite late right now.
We are running late.
So anyway, Yamamoto, he had a 65 in his first run, so that's going to be a 0. So he does have a score that may be enough to get to the bottom end of the top 32.
Yes, we only have 8 drivers left.
So stay with us.
Done.
We have our top 8 drivers to go.
Andy's cold. He has gloves on. He has a toque. Well, for those Americans listening, that's a skull cap.
A toque.
A toque.
Isn't it just a beanie?
Yes, a beanie. That's another word you could use.
Isn't it?
Toque's a very Canadian word.
Oh, I see.
It's French.
Like Buddy's got a toque.
Toque.
Buddy
Look at his toque, eh?
Hey, Buddy forgot his toque. He caught a cold and he had to go home, eh?
Yeah, no do to boot it.
Wait. When Buddy went out in a boat, he forgot his toque.
Yeah, that's a very Canadian thing to say. Yeah.
Oh, we figured something out a while ago.
What is that?
Oh, he's getting towed off? Oh, he's
No,
driving
what
off.
is that? What is it you figured out?
We were trying to figure out the most Australian-sounding phrase you could say.
All right.
And we figured out it was, we've delayed today's debate on explosive toast. It just has those sounds that we delayed today's debate on explosive toast.
I thought you were going to say something more along the lines of involving kangaroos, shrimp on the Barbie, that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, when I meant that, it was like, well, not so much the content, it was just the sound, the sound of the Australian laconic twang coming out.
All right.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
We're trying to fill time
waiting
here.
for a car to get dragged off the track, so we're going to say stupid things.
Look, when I'm expecting our floor director to come in and say, we're going to go to a 2-minute ad break, I'm just waiting for that. So it's just sort of filling time with nonsense.
But the next car's on the line, and all our little minions are off the track now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are professional commentators and judges here at Formula Drift Japan, filling the airwaves with quality content. Interspersed with the occasional drift. So here we go. 8 drivers to go. These are our top-ranked drivers. We're in the top end of the field here. Ima Maeda in his S14 Silvia. He had a 54 in his first run. Very aggressive. Manji entry there.
That's not
that's going to come around on him. Unfortunately for him. So Ima Maeda, 54. Wow, that might be...
It's a little risky taking that kind of
definitely risky
jump into the initiation there with a 54 to fall back on.
It would make a lot of sense to take the look at this. This is one of the most aggressive entries we've seen all day.
Yep.
It's not dry.
No.
It's not dry by any means.
Yokoi is next. Yo boy, Yokoi. So he's in that S15 with the 2JZ, which I think everybody's pretty agrees upon that it's a very nice setup for drifting, right? That's
especially with this one, the way Yokoi has set it up, it's very back heavy, a lot of grip in this setup.
It's a nice initiation.
So second run Yokoi, as you can see, the great control, huge angle. Banging it off the red line.
Up a bit right there. You see some smoke.
Yeah.
Having a hard time getting out to the all the way out to the zone.
Early on the handbrake. Sorry, early on the foot brake.
Yeah.
Right to the edge of the wall, holding that angle. Look how smooth that angle is right there. 100% confidence from Yokoi. I think he might want to go up a gear ratio, a diff ratio.
It seems like the track's gripping up quite a bit in outside zone 1.
Yeah.
It's not as loose as it was earlier.
Of course, earlier today we had that dry spot on the entry, and now it seems to be drying up on the first outer clip, outer zone, sorry.
That's
so
okay.
outer zone we're seeing right here, right there.
Right, he almost got
Smoke.
out to the line.
That's
yeah,
smoke.
There's smoke there for sure. Yeah, his rotation there was a little bit late to outside zone 2. He was a little bit late getting to it, but still got out wide. Just a little bit late, and managed to maintain his momentum right over the finish line here as well.
So decent run for Yokoi. His first run, a 77, so already got a good score on the board. Going for another equally good run. He would have hoped. I don't think it's going to be scored as good as a 77. We'll see what the results are. As the sun goes down here. Actually, yeah, the sun went. That's when that's why I got cold. 84 for Yokoi. Excellent. So 84, that is, I believe, equal first place with Naoto Suenaga.
So looking at his run, he did not do well in outside zone 1 on line, but he did well elsewhere on line. So the deficit that he had from the first zone, he kind of picked up on the inside clips and outside zone 3. So his score did suffer a little bit, but because he did well elsewhere, picked up for it, kind of made up for it.
Really bit of an ugly entry here for Tamagawa. Reinitiating, although he was already at angle, so it's going to be okay.
Big angle right there.
Oh, look at the line.
Yeah.
Nice. So this is where he screwed up last time. Coming in too late. Oh, he's very late to angle again. Manages to pull up. Yeah, taking a very safe line through there.
Oh, really?
Wow. A spin again. That's a 0-0 for Tamagawa. Wow.
In an area where you wouldn't normally expect a spin to occur either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a very technical area. You're just kind of exiting that little horseshoe area. You wouldn't expect a spin there. But he did a good job on outside zone 1, although his initiation was wonky.
Yeah, that was wonky. Yeah.
Definitely wonky. But he did a great job from here.
That's
the
nice
beginning of the zone, right on that white line, just slightly over it, but really well done.
And really late here. So
yeah.
You should have already been angled there.
Exactly, yeah. Late to get to angle. And then here, this is an area where you just get back on throttle and kind of carry it through, and all of a sudden, a spin.
You can see there.
It does look more wet there, too.
It does a little bit, but you can see there he wound on the steering lock a bit to try and bring the back of the car around, and there's that little delay in the reaction there. Spinning out, 0-0s for Tamagawa. So after a really good round previously at Fuji Speedway, not even going to make it through to tomorrow.
But Nian needs to get his score up a little bit here. He's sitting on a 69 right now.
So next run, Shenyang with a 69 in his first run. Okay, conservative entry,
yeah,
very conservative entry, inside line here. Okay, to the outside, wobbly. This is not a great run so far. Can he get it back early? He can salvage it. Nah, he's not leaving himself a lot of space to mess with. Nian, whoa, right to the edge. Not coming into contact with the wall, luckily for him.
Yeah, so it looks like the beginning of the track is a little grippier, and then near the end of it, it looks more wet when the car drives over, right? You're getting a little bit of smoke on some cars at outside zone 1, and near the end of the track, you're getting some spray.
Water spray, yeah.
That would make it tricky.
So for a 69 on his first run. Just had a quick count. That's 12 0-0s so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Darn. He did well outside zone 2. Just dropped the tire a little bit, but he got a good score through there. Nice wide to the wall there. You can see the tail light glowing.
The light
on the wall.
The glow on the wall, yeah. That was cool.
He kind of stalled up a little bit right there, but managed to get back on throttle and make it look smooth through the finish. So not a horrible run from him.
All right, so good result there for Shenyang. A 73 improvement on his first run of 69. Yeah. So that's going to put Shenyang into the top 32, I'd say, with a score of 71.
Next up, Mad
Mike Wadet. One fun thing to do is...
can you do a New Zealand accent, being Australian?
I can't. If I do it, I'll screw it up,
okay.
so I don't want to do it.
Mike,
Mike,
that was
throwing
nice.
it in. Huge angle.
Oh, no.
He's going to go off.
4 off. Yeah,
4
that was
off.
an incredible initiation. That was nice.
Yeah.
His headlights were pointing
Straight at us.
straight at us.
Yeah. That accelerator. Whoa, watch out, Mike. Woo!
Playing with fire. So his first score was a 77, which is not the best score that we have right now. It's actually
a fair way off it, actually.
Is that, where would that put him, do you think? 77?
That would put him about halfway through the
like, would he be in 16?
Top 16?
Like, do you think he'd be in the top 16 scores right now?
Probably,
right?
Top 16 with a 77, yes, I would say he would be.
He'd be in the, okay.
Yeah, I'd say he'd be in the top 16 drivers so far.
All right.
Watch this here. Woo! That would have looked cool with those double steel stays there. If he just scraped that wall,
right.
we've got a
sparks.
Big spark show coming off the wall there.
Oh, sorry about that.
So Mike, 77, followed by a 0 there. So he should be in a reasonably comfortable position in the top 32 for tomorrow. There you go, 0s for Mike. If you got a 66, I could have said he got a 66. That's the way New Zealanders say 6. They say 6.
We're gonna have to get some people online to vote to chime in on that. I'm not sure. I can't make
it. The way it works is like the A's are replaced by E's. So instead of saying that, you say that.
All right. Oh yeah. Okay. It's accurate.
It's sort of Canadian and American, sort of the difference between like it's. Next one now. Yamashita. Now he collided with the wall in his first run. He needs to get a score. Whoa, he's really, really being conservative here. He just needs to get a score. I'm going to say it, it's towards the end of the run. He had a 0 in his first run. He needs a score. Playing with fire there.
Yeah. I saw Andy put his hand on his head just a minute ago. So I don't think the style score is going to be
that was
phenomenal.
I'll say it. Not the prettiest.
Not the prettiest.
Because it's 100% legit in this case.
Oh, so you're saying the original use of that term was not legitimate?
No, I 100% agree with Jared. He got a lot of hate from that. I told him, I was like, no, you are 100% right. Don't retract it. You were right, man. And it's right in this case too, I think. I think everyone would agree. So not too bad here. Watch this, though.
Yeah, it seems to be this transition coming towards outside zone 2 where people choke up a little bit, get a little bit worried, get a little bit scared. He was the run right after Iha's hit that he almost did the exact same thing.
He did.
I think it may have scared him a little bit, and he's not forgetting that. He's keeping it in mind that I got to be careful on that transition because my car might not want to come back around.
And a 69 there for Koichi Yamashita.
Down to our last 2 drivers.
So at least getting a score. Where that's going to put him, I don't know right now. We'll see what happens. All right, so Shinji Minoa, currently 2nd in the points rankings. He already has a score of 80, so he's already comfortable. See what he can do in these conditions right now. Nice entry there. Look at that.
That was good.
Confident entry from Shinji Minoa. Already holding big angle. Filling that outer zone off a little bit early. Big angle in the transition too. Flicks it back. Edge of the track. Edge to edge to edge. A long way off the wall. That's okay. I think he's just trying to be safe. Ooh, he's lying way off there.
Yep.
That could be a straight in there for Minoa. First half of the run looking very good.
Yeah, that was pretty sloppy at the end.
So that second half just falling apart.
Yeah. He has a pretty nice initiation. If you look at the rate to angle, considering the weather conditions and everything, maintain the angle all the way through to the beginning of outside zone 1. A little bit late getting into the zone. He kind of did the middle there, you know. Yeah. He was in a little bit late, off a little early. Did a good job through here. Only dropped 1 tire, so good line score through that section. Way off outside zone 3. Again, playing it safe. and then his line gets a little bit wonky through here. As he transitions, he ends up getting on the rumble strip, kind of drives straight, and makes some really sloppy errors through that section. Yeah. But he is sitting on an 80, so I think the 0 we just gave him isn't going to sting too much.
It was a 0? Okay, yeah. So a 0 for Shinji Minowa. There it is.
I'd like to keep you hanging sometimes, but yeah.
No, that's good. It keeps the tension going.
Yeah, he did quite a mistake there.
All right, now
the final driver.
Who Andrew Gray.
Right now, needing to put down a score. I'm
not going to say it, but he needs a score. Andrew Gray. He's currently first place in the championship. He needs this run. It's coming down to this. This could potentially lose him the championship. This qualifying run. Andrew Gray. Here we go. Looking good so far. Filling that outer zone. Excellent. This is looking good so far. Transition back. Back again. Outer zone 2. A fair way off, but it's looking good. Okay, out towards the wall. Excellent. Andrew Gray, keep it going. Keep the momentum going. You need a score here. Excellent. Andrew Gray over the finish line. Puts the score down. Keeping the championship hopes alive. Wow, that was nervous. That was... I
can see you were like sitting on pins and needles over here.
If you got a 0, like it would have been a double 0.
You're right.
Like this run could have lost in the championship.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you held back. You didn't say it.
I wasn't going to say it,
but you did say it, kind of.
Because he'd come and choke me for that. Probably. So transition here. I'm just sort of less worried about the messy parts of this run.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, right? Line-wise, he had some strong points. He also had some weak points. So I think overall, it kind of evened itself out in terms of the line. It's because we break the track up the way we do, it's not like going offline somewhere is going to ruin your whole run. No, it's compartmentalized. So you're going to get a poor score or a lower score in that one area. He still ended up getting a 30 on his line because he was pretty close on a lot of areas, although his outside zone 2 is a little bit off.
And a 76 for Andrew Gray, so that is probably a good enough score to get him through to the top 32.
Yeah, I think his qualifying position will be a little bit lower in this round than he's accustomed to, probably.
Yes, that's right.
But he's going to be in the show, so he shouldn't worry too much there. I guess the question now is who's he going to go up against in top 32, though, based on that lower qualifying score. He's typically going up against a lower qualified driver, but now he might be kind of in the mix with, I don't know where he's going to end up.
He could potentially very early come up against another strong driver who could knock him out. He could come up against someone like Shinji or one of these guys. He could come up against Sheng Nian, so it should be exciting. All right, so if you wanted to find out when this program will be on tomorrow, just get onto formuladrift.jp. It's also on Facebook. Just search Formula Drift Japan on Facebook. The schedules will all come up. We have the live stream tomorrow with us here at Okayama for the top 32, all the way through to the final. We'll be deciding the championship tomorrow as well. So this has been Alexi Smith. And hello, this has been Alexi Smith. I'm here with Ryan Lantane, judge, and commentator. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody. You can hear some Ferraris.
There's Ferraris driving out there now, too.